This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio.
And yes, indeed, we'd like to say welcome again to a fresh edition of the program, the Bottom Line Liberia Discussions. My name is Linford Goa, and tonight our colleague Chima Kamara will be with us. He's back, and we would like to say welcome, Chima, from your month-long break, which was for a worthy cause, and now you are back. And during the course of the program, we'll be joined by Paul the Lord Chulope, as well as Francis Mensah and Guide Tume, Augustus Guide Tume from Germany. And so together we'll be bringing you, as usual, information that you need to know. So we'd like to say welcome formally to Chima Kamara. Chima, welcome. How are you?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Linford. Thank you for having me. It's been a while. I've been away for like a month, and I kind of one of these days popped in and to see how the show looking. But it's been a good time to be away, for at least for some religious commitment now. And I think I'm back and active and strong to move on.
Okay, and let me just say, happy Eid Mubarak. But please, Chima, pronounce that word for me. Say Eid or I?
It's Eid.
Eid. Okay.
Eid.
Happy Eid Mubarak to all of our Muslim friends, especially those from Liberia. It's for me it's kind of like a normal thing, because I've been around the Muslim guys for a very long time, from the childhood days. I have very good Muslim friends, and the funny thing that we used to do is that during the Eid Mubarak, when they break the fast, we go there, we eat, we chop. Then I remember had this Aladura church around my area when we go to the Mount Tabura. In fact, we are no boys, man. We told in the food, carrying the first. We are the first group to go carry the food to the mountain before the program be all there. So, it was like nobody knew whether you're Muslim or not. But the only thing I had problem with my man was that, and this one is very private. I'll let you talk about it while I'm talking today. We all get our school girlfriend or living and get our girlfriend. Well, how to get it there around the Muslim getting so we so fight all the time. My man, no way for her. But I think all the things changing now, the world is becoming a liberal place, and everybody's worshiping God, no matter which form you worship God in. But it's the same God that we all pray to. The same way I got different names, I got different names, but we are all human beings. So somebody will call God Allah, somebody will call God, somebody will call it some kind of way. Or as long as you pray to that supreme being that is responsible for creating us and creating the entire universe that we live in. So now I listen to people, Jima, I don't know what your view on this, but I listen to people, some people say no God. So I don't know how you will say no God. When you who say no God, somebody is responsible for born you. The house you live in, somebody is responsible for building it. The clothes you wear, somebody made it. The food you go, somebody. So what makes you think that the entire universe with all the magical thing, the wind that is powerful but you can't see it, the sea that you see, it can get mad at a certain time, then it get cool itself down, the rain will come, in Europe the snow will fall, in Africa the sun will, there's somebody who sit down somewhere and say there is no God. So I wonder how cool is that thing. Jima, what do you think?
Well, it's just hard to say because you need to respect their opinion. Whatever they believe in, that's the opinion. And if you are a believer, you have to believe in what you believe in. You need to respect them for who they are. This is why making society a very difficult society to live in. And if we find ourselves in this Western world, you will see people of all backgrounds who don't believe that there's a God, or God does not exist. And a lot of people saying it's a waste of time to go to mosque or to go to church. So it's so hard. Once you believe in it, and this is one thing you can do, we all have to have our own ways. And I believe that we should respect each other and have our very limitations. Like I'm a Muslim and you are a Christian, somebody's an atheist, somebody who's an anti-Christ. As you don't cross my line, fine, so be it. I think this is why this is what makes the world a better place. So we all have a place to live, we have equal rights, and we can respect each other's religion as well. So that's what I believe in. If you don't believe there's a God, well, so that's your thinking. Which I don't believe you, but I respect your opinion. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, okay. I mean, fair enough.
That's your thing.
Yeah, but you see, my thing here is that for somebody to outrightly say if you say you don't believe in God, fine, I agree. You don't need to believe in God, but to say outrightly that there is no God, then I wonder, because the house are sitting in now, somebody built it. The clothes on me, somebody made it. So then the whole big world, yeah. But anyway, like you said,
you think why you don't understand? People got different understanding of the word. That's why I think this was developed by itself. It's a creation. There are other religious sets of people in different areas will tell me what the Son of God. Those are all things were made, but they were all made. So they were made and they already do exist. So the thing here is, if you believe that God does not exist, and they believe that God does not exist, and you think like God exists, so till you prove them, where is God? So, and you have to prove it, and using biblical Quran to prove to them God is, but it doesn't exist. And they have an argument. Sometimes argument, they have the argument to stand by. So you need to sometimes listen to them and say, okay, sometimes you can argue, you can beat them in argument for the fact that they are saying that one is not something you can see, it's not tangible, it's something how do you say, abstract. So God is abstract. So with that kind of argument, can you go into that? And you believe that there's like you're saying some science told you, that's what make you to believe that there's something powerful out there that make you to believe that something's happening. And when they see that as a science, they see that as a science. So they don't see that it doesn't happen. So, and the thinking, my brother, let me tell you one thing I noticed, like in a developed world, the way of looking up God to God is not that much pushed around. It's not that much promoted. Because if we were born in a situation where you found life to be much more very everything, you got everything. You're born in a situation where your parents have everything. You go to school, you enjoy life. They believe in God is just very hard. Except your background, the background come from, they are very strong. They have to push you around to make you to understand that there's a God. But it just generation believe that, well, if you see a part of the world we live in, not a lot of young people go to the religious center, not go to you don't go to churches, mosques, or go to synagogues. What they believe in as the late age in their life before thinking there's something like God or something miraculous happen. Then they believe something, signs will come up. But in Africa, they say to us that developing countries and poor countries, they're quick to be attracted to God than where life is. So that's how you see it. So poor people mostly worship God than rich people. So that's how they say. And I will say something. I may be wrong. I understand one time. I think someone the richest guy. I can't quote who he is. I think that Bill Gates. He said people waste much of their time. I don't know. I may be wrong. He said somebody said something about they waste too much time in the religious center than doing your hard work. And it doesn't come to you. You got to work hard and ask God, and God will deliver it to you. You can't sit in a religious center and ask God to deliver it. You must work hard for it. So this is the saying. So
but I also tend to sometimes, because in the Bible somewhere it says heaven helps those who help themselves. But then because most people too, they play religion because they would sit down, like I used to have a sister-in-law who would sit down in the morning, she's not doing nothing. And then, if God will bless me, I will find, so I'll get some money. So I said, but Lena, how does God bless people? God has blessed you. God gave you 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 head. I mean, two legs. Sense in your head. So I even go to, oh gosh, open the sky and bless you again. No, God bless you different ways. Because some people are born crippled. I mean, I'm sorry for that condition. Some people born blind, and compared to you who are born complete. So what kind of blessing you want God to open the sky and give you things? But again, and most of the rich people, when they say there is no God, or because Africans we are poor, I mean they tell me that many times. Say you are poor, that's why you're looking up to a second source to give you something.
But don't you believe that? If you're born in hardship, just like grew up in a hardship, you saw that what you're looking for, the only way to salvation is to talk to the woman to get better life. God can have it delivered to you.
Yeah, but how does God do that? Myself, I'm a Christian, but I don't see that.
But
like I go
this
to
is
church,
what
oh God help me, I'm not going to work. I say now, oh God help me, let me get money. How?
But I will tell you something. We go to these marabouts. You know what the marabouts are? Somebody hiding behind the doors there, trying to get writing on the Quran they can give you to go read to make you a better life, to able to get to give you something to rub yourself, rub your face, your lock open. You go to the church, the man of God is telling you can send you anointing oil to make you get, blessing, all these things happening. But now the man who is on the side telling you work hard. If you work hard, you're happy. Why are you and myself on the side? They're working hard. Those things they say it don't work. But the thing in life, you believe, you put faith in that, those things, even if a man of God give an anointing or in rub it, and you believe it's going to work, it'll work for you, right? A marabout sitting there gave you something written from the Quran for you to get a tie on your waist and go and sit in the corner, put on your pillowcase. It work for you. Because you believe in it, work for you. But the man on the side,
I don't think so.
No, the man on this. This is what happening. So they work for people. Why is that they're selling these anointing oils and the marabouts are getting riches and the pastors are getting money out of people because selling anointing oil? Believe that there's power in it.
Okay, then ask yourself, the marabout who is selling you, giving you this thing to go get rich, or the pastor who is the same pastor who will ask you to pay him?
Yeah, but they're telling you they won't work it for themselves. They want to work for you. It doesn't work for them. That's what it's telling you.
Why?
That's how it is. That's how it is.
This is when I don't believe it.
So you have to put your head together and think whether they are saying to you makes sense to you. So the people from the West are telling you go and work hard, and that's where God believes you. Work hard and ask God. This is what I want. Help me out.
I believe in, because when you work, at least you're expecting your paycheck to come. Paul, welcome. The discussion we started, but we playing with it. We talking around this thing where people believe. Some people believe that there is no God or totally. Okay.
But before you go in, if I have to become a Christian, I'll go to Paul's church. I like Paul's church.
Yeah, Paul, we said Paul, pastor. Let him talk.
Paul, where's your church? Please tell where the church is, and you're who is the pastor? I think he's a deacon. He's a father in the church there. What's the name of your church, Paul?
Good evening to the Bottomland family. This is the Lord Chidope from the great city of London. I heard you guys talking about church. To our viewers that follow, my church is in Liberia. It's called Give and Take Immediate Ministry. Whatever you put in, you get it back immediately. There's no pastor appreciation, anything. So that is the church, and it's the fast-growing church in Liberia. So welcome for those of you in Liberia want to visit our church. It's on Kerry Street, and this is the assistant pastor of the church speaking.
You will pay for advertisement, so you pay.
You asked me about my church, so I give
I said the name of the church. I didn't tell you to tell you to promote a church on our show. Okay, welcome. Paul, welcome.
Immediately.
Paul, welcome. How are you today?
I'm great. How you been?
No, but if it's just joining you, this about once again, I want to tell you welcome. We'll be going. We got two segments. We'll be going through the newspaper. We'll review the newspaper tonight. The newspaper that make Liberian newspaper making major news headline in Liberia. From there, we'll be looking at some other major stories that make news in Liberia. For a couple of news, we'll be looking at the LBS. That's a new country in Liberia to 5 million country. We'll be looking at the LRA, Liberian Revenue Authority boss is calling for instead of GST, they're calling for VAT, where they want to raise up to 30% of the revenue gross domestic product should come from that end, as well as we're looking at other two Yeke Koloba behavior. Yeke Koloba behavior, they send it to all the horses looking at it. It's a rude behavior, they want to investigate it. Those are some major stories that come in the newspaper tonight. We'll be looking at it tonight. So we ask you to be with us, buckle up, take you through the ride.
But Jamal, before you guys get to the subject, I know you're on this God business, but something I read today in the newspaper that I think it's Kenya, a pastor wife got pregnant by a witch doctor.
Yeah, medicine man.
Yeah, so this story is very exciting and fascinating story that I know the devil and Jesus Christ don't go together, but in this case, it happened that the witch doctor now, the pastor wife could not give birth, so they went to the witch doctor. Instead of praying to God for miracle, the witch doctor now took over the pastor wife and he impregnated her. I don't know what you guys make of this story.
Well, this is a more interest story, and this is part of journalism. Jima knows that. You know, it's like it's a difficult story to just conclude on, because did the witch doctor make medicine for this woman, or did he sleep with her?
He slept with her and got her pregnant. He didn't do miracle.
Yeah, but so there's no miracle. Scientifically speaking, they probably, because, you know, for men and women to be able to born a child or children, you must be compatible, you know, sexually and whatever. So if you are not, if your genes or whatever they call it, your chromosomes, they're not working properly, they're not aligned, you can be together for a million years, it will not happen. Then this person,
they think Lefa talking going to the scientific bit. After the God thing here, when you sort of pray to get miracle, then you go get miracle, you go the other way. That's the point I'm making here, Lefa.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, okay, yeah, if you talk about the miracle, you see, and this is where I would disagree with Chima, where somebody will go give me something to tie my waist, or one pastor who is charging me to give him money for giving me holy oil to rob and get love and get rich, but he cannot do it for himself. Because if Paul comes to me, Paul says I'm hungry and I get food, I'll say, Paul, let's eat a food. I will eat it. Let my stomach be full too. I can't take all the food and go to Paul, then I go die with hunger. So what sense does that make? You know, so
I think
no medicine. I've not been a medicine man before. I don't go to no pastor to pour oil on me. You know, yeah, because in fact, that's a violation of the Jesus Christ. How many times we have Jesus Christ pour oil on anybody, or you know, people play the church. That's the problem. Why I'm a Christian, but I'm a kind of different Christian. Even at a certain point, I don't believe. You see, I'm wearing a cross, right? I'm wearing a small chimney cross. But
man, I always visit my church.
I always condemn people who wear cross. And because when you ask some people why you wear cross, you say because Jesus Christ died on the cross. So what if they are shot Jesus Christ with Moha with RPG? So all the Christians will hear RPG on that man, be walking away around the street? No. You know, so well, guys, I think we got to move. Guy, welcome. If you hear us, welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Pleasant good evening from my end. The pre-discussion is interesting.
Interesting, yeah, you know.
Yeah. That some of us
Guy, let me ask Jima one question. Jima, in the Quran, sorry, I don't know what can offend the Muslims, but in the Quran, how did Muhammad die? Did he die normally, like, you know, get sick and die? Because he was not crucified, he was not, you know, nothing like that. I haven't heard anything like that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm not a student of religion. I don't like to go deep in religion, but I'll tell you my knowledge of that. Muhammad was just like you and myself. You receive calling when you are age of 30. So you lay for another 30 years, you served preaching. So all in total, you spent 60 years on earth. Okay. So he was normal, he was married, and he was like you and myself. That's nothing different. So what do you expect? He had a normal death.
Normal burial, okay.
Normal burial like Muslims do. So he got the calling at the age of 30. He did another 30 years preaching. So at the age of 60, he passed. So he had a normal burial, normal death.
Yeah, because most of our Christians, they play the Christianity. You see a pastor with a big cross on the neck, and you know, this and that. Yeah, that's it. But I don't know what this is the medicine.
Uganda witch doctor impregnate pastor's barren wife.
Yes. Yeah.
This is Uganda story, Paul.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Yes.
the question is,
yes, Ghana, you're right. That's
but
the
why they put
story.
American message on the
I think
The police.
police took the case. So it's quite interesting to. Well, before going to the story, let's jump into this, guys. God, what's your take on this?
So,
God,
yeah, I can hear you. Can you
well,
hear
what
me?
do you think? Uganda witch doctor impregnates Pastor Barron's wife. What does that say? What can you say about this?
So, from my own layman understanding of how family in the home should be run, a man should have total control, not necessarily control as physical control, because these days people misinterpret having control of your family or your wife. A man should have control of his family, meaning you controlling her mental state, her physical state, her spiritual state. So once you have control of that, you're able to settle your family in any given circumstances. Because one, if you cannot control her mental being, when she's mentally ill or unbalanced, you're losing your family already. When she's also physically not fit, you're losing your family because that's an arm of your total family. You see? So the pastor, I don't want to criticize him, but as per what I just said, did not do well. Because if he had total control of his wife, I want to assume that the lady did not go to that man with the consent of the husband. She went seeking for solution. And mind you, these are stories also that Liberia has gone through. I know it as a young child. I saw some of my aunties who went to my grandma because my grandmother was always giving them advices. And they will go and make these kind of mistakes.
Let me hold you there. I know. Let me hold you. Sorry, let me interrupt you a little bit. If someone who is a believer and a believer to see that, like, which doctors impregnate the pastor, what comes to your mind? You trying to give a more detailed analysis to it. Does the pastor fail? Or does the holy book fail here and the witch doctor succeeded? That's why the question that you come to your mind. Or do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, sure. I want to answer the question, but I also want to look at it critically because sometimes the headlines that the print media can bring, it's for selling. You see, sometimes when you read details in the story could be totally different from the headline, the caption. So, but I think that's why I started with that the pastor failed because he was not having control over these things that I was listing. For mental state, he was depressed. Probably, if you read the story thoroughly, you will know how long they've been together, that she had been barren. So it stressed the women more than the men. So I think he failed to some extent. But it's not like the pastor was going to look for this particular solution. And that's the impression the caption is giving us.
So this tells us that this something is happening in many homes. Or something, if not, forget about being the pastor. Issues like this happen, like many women home, they are not medically.
Just today, to reference to add to what you just said, just today I watched a video online, and it says 80%. I want to be correct. I think 80% of every firstborn child in Ghana is not the biological child of their fathers.
Where you got that information from?
I came across that video as well. That's right, guys.
Where that statistic come from? What I got a whole detail from? What? Explain that in detail.
From their gender ministry or one of their legal arms, because it has raised cases. There was one famous footballer, I think Mutari or so.
No, not Mutari.
If not Mutari, another one.
I just forgot his guy. The guy from Cameroon, right?
Not the Cameroonian, a Ghanaian.
Again?
Yes. A Ghanaian, quite recently, 3 children, 3 kids.
Okay. Oh, quite straight. Let's leave it like that. I think we got a lot of Linford, take control. Let's go on. I think this is quite interesting.
I think it has to do with unfaithfulness. The story from Ghana, it has to do with unfaithfulness, women being unfaithful sometimes, in reference to how the husband treated them or whatever. But the particular case with the woman from Uganda, I don't want to just squarely place the blame on the man, on the pastor. probably that he was not in control of his wife. It could be that the both of them have been struggling. The pastor have prayed, maybe other pastors have prayed for him and he can't succeed. So then they say, maybe somebody, remember we're African. Either the woman's parent or the pastor's parents say, oh, your leader pastor business here. You can't go try the medicine man we hear, he can make medicine. But then I asked the question, whether the medicine man stay with the woman or he made medicine and the woman got pregnant. That's why I wanted to know.
When Jamal interrupted me, when he asked to interrupt, that was what I was about to say.
Okay.
As a young man, I listened and witnessed a lot of these cases, Chief Jamal. My late grandmother from mother's side was a missionary, very faithful to the church. She had all these aunties' children and older sister children and other people running to her with these kind of problems. They will go and make these mistakes and ask the Oma to come pray for her, for them, for forgiveness, you know. And it's deception. Some of these guys who say they are herbalists, they are medicine men, they deceive these women. Even pastors, if you have followed social media for the last 2-3 decades, Nigeria has been facing such problems. So women will go to pastors for prayer. And those pastors, the prayer should be directed to that woman being fertile instead of being barren. Or those pastors, at the end of the day, will have to sleep with the woman, with these women. So these cases were coming, and some of it are from deception.
Who is failing us? Well, then who is failing us? Because you're saying this thing, you blame the pastors, blaming the herbalists. Who is failing us here?
The pastor's failing. But for me,
let you say something. I'll give you a please. Let you tell us, because you just blame two groups right now. Who is failing us? You tell the herbalists are not doing well. The pastors are not some. Who is failing us here right now? Is that a society?
Yes, definitely. You said it very right. It's society, because a few years back, Nigeria had some rules and regulations on churches and mosques. These are things that cities government need to come up with to regulate certain practices. You know, it needs to start from somewhere. Like in our case, we've been preaching all these female genital mutilation. We need to dive into. Listen, we're in a modern world. Just yesterday, I was following another platform and somebody was answering a question. They asked him a question and the guy is trying to say, that time was my parent time. I'm living in today, the 21st century. I can't be doing things like the way my parents did. If my parents used to carry my daughter, maybe my daughter wakes up every morning by 2 a.m. and starts to disturb in the house. During that time, our parents would take them to the shrine to say they are being bewitched or demons behind them. In our modern days, we act so religious, we'll run them to the church. But the first place of contact should be the hospital. Seek medical attention. If you are a believer, whether Muslim, Buddhist, or what, pray. You yourself pray for that child or that person. You seek medical attention before going somewhere else. Example, a famous Nigerian actor, a very young fellow with 3 children, just died. On the basis of ignorance, he got drowned from boat accident. He went in fact and shot a film.
Are you talking about Junior Pop?
Junior Pop, he was returning. There's a video now circulating of one of the guys who survived and was with him, and the guy is confessing that they made a mistake. When the second boat came to go and look for people under the water to rescue, they brought Junior Pope, and he had not died because they took him to the mortuary. The mortician was the one who told them that, you know, the morticians are professionals. So he said, no, this is not a dead body. You'll take him to hospital. They took Pop to hospital. Before taking Pop to hospital, they took him to a witch doctor again, a herbalist.
Right.
And CPR has time to be a minister. They did not think about it. These are things we've been struggling with, Jamal.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we a little bit diverted. Quite interesting story. Paul, we have Paul to say something. Linford, you can take control. Then we'll go to our meat agenda tonight. Paul, the Lord Paul Choloplay, what do you got for us tonight on this, which is out of the topic, Uganda witch doctor. You brought an issue here. Do you want to know Uganda witch doctor impregnate pastor's parent wife?
You know, Jamal, guys, let's be honest here. The pastor wife become the prayer mother of the church. Usually. So if they are the most powerful people in the church. So if the pastor and his wife does not believe in God, this is the kind of thing that you get in the business of their collecting money. Because if you believe in your prayer person, you wouldn't go to witch doctor. That alone is all be calling upon Jesus Christ, not going to a witch doctor. So the pastor and his wife, they believe in God, but they running a business. So the witch doctor decided to help them. And he did what a man would do when he asked for help. And this is the bottom line of it. I just want to throw that in there. Holy people don't go to witch doctor. No, it's forbidden. Believe what you believe in. Believe in the tree, that the tree will give you miracle. Believe in that tree. You can't divert. So the witch doctor me, I think I'm on his side.
Okay. All right, guys. I think we all got our side on this story. Linfo, we are in your hand. Linfo?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Jima. Thank you, guys.
Take control. I want to bring this just a little bit. If you just joining, or we're just talking a little bit about human interest story Uganda. So we're going to go to our main topic tonight. So we're going to bring this down. Linfo, take control, boss.
Okay, thank you, guys. I think it was interesting. Some of these things are very much touching. Sometimes people overlook it, but it's very interesting. Like Paul said, what you believe in it. And I Abraham and Sarah, they couldn't have children. They couldn't have a child, and they lived together for many years. And then since they couldn't have a child, I think Sarah found a woman, their mate, and asked Abraham to stay with her. And then they had a child. So
Leah, right?
Yeah. So you see, those are faithful people. Abraham did not divorce his wife, or Sarah did not divorce Abraham and say, because we can have a child. So, or let's go to one medicine man who will give us. You pray to God. So what are you going to medicine? So are you saying that the medicine man is powerful more than God? And this is where I always have problem with sometimes Christians who think that no, if I want to be ordinary person, I'll be. If I want to be Christian, I'll be, and that's it. But guys, let's move to our stuff tonight. Jima, when you have some newspapers for us tonight, can you put them up?
Yes. Do you hear me? Hello, do you hear me?
You're sounding low. You're very low.
Oh, do you hear me now?
Yeah.
We echo.
Oh, 1 second. Hello, what was this?
Yeah, better.
Oh, sorry.
Much better.
All right, sorry about that. Okay. We just want to just bring you some headlines. What happened in Liberia, major news in Liberia. We want to take you through, and what we do here, we give our opinions on the perspective, put in context for our own personal perspective. Major news that make news in Liberia. So we're going to go through it tonight. With me tonight, we got a panelist on the show. We got a guy told me from based in Germany. We got Lord Jonathan based in London. Our old man on the right hand side. He's in the middle of the studio. That's Linfo Egon Boy, and I'm Jamal Kamara. Linfo is in Norway, while I'm based in Manchester, northwest of the United Kingdom. So tonight, we're going to take you through the major news in Liberia. Tonight, we'll be looking at it. This is the first news. Liberian news. Liberian China signs a $5 million project. That for LBS. So, gentlemen, this is the story. The dealers always reporting the story that the Liberian government is coming up with some contract with the Chinese government to renovate, to re-establish or renovate or rejuvenate our major state-owned news media. That's LBS. And for Linfo being one of the journalists who got trained by LBS through the whole corridors of LBS, can't tell much about the facilities. And I don't know what is the prospect for us here, because what happened in the past years, we've been getting our news from, social media handles, no reliable stories. So we've been relying on these to give us some story. Most of those stories are not, you can't confirm it, but now we have our own media, which is their own media, LBS is here. And we think Chinese are coming in to help us to rejuvenate or revamp the facility to put a standard, to money standard. So, Leaford, I'll start from before you be the last person to speak here. I know you will tell them much about what you think of LBS. So I'll take to God. God, I don't want to say the youngest, but I think you are much more informed about the media system in Liberia, how we've been doing it. Tell us what is that good news for us, or what do you think? It's another drop into the ocean regarding to LBS story. $5 million from the Chinese government to help us revamp LBS.
Well, Jama, is a good thing. It's actually a good thing to have, the press makes up the fighting arm for the public. When you remove the military, the media will be the voice for the people, for the nation. So for China to revamp the LBS is not a bad thing. I am afraid of China's interest in Africa and the way they operate. That is my fear. And why our media? If you take a keen look, it's not the first time. China has renovated the LBS before under Madame Salif with some huge drop again. So what's China's interest in our state media corporation? That's my fear. Is it just because we have bilateral agreement? Is it just because China wants Liberia to develop or something? That is my fear. China should also focus on training our journalists. If the 5 million is also towards training media entities in Liberia, not just the state-owned media, then I would say, okay, it's a fine discussion, it's a fine gesture. But why our state media entity? That's my question. But it's a good thing. Holistically, it's a good thing. It helps our media entity. It helps the LBS. LBS for years had not brought the famous, during those days, the Balawala Malawala program. I don't even think LBS can bring up some of the Liberian movies or something, or these dramas that people used to get glued to. Every evening, fathers are coming from work, they're rushing home to sit with their children and watch the black and white television. Are good journalists who are trained, they were taken out of the country. Leaford and other people passed through the same channel and got good training. Is China doing the same that the Netherlands or Greece used to do for Liberia and the US? Is China doing the same? Is there a specific interest?
I think
political interest.
Okay. And just to take you back, I want to tell you something. Would you expect China to be Father Christmas? Just give it to you, nothing coming out of it. One. Second, do you notice like during the past elections, political parties didn't have a platform where they could present a manifesto. They were going to these private institutions. We need an institution like where taxpayer money, everybody has equal right. I think LBS is one of the institutions that will provide that platform for us. We didn't have that. And all the past government turned their back to LBS. If you look at the past, LBS is one of the institutions that many of the brilliant Liberian journalists, like Linford sitting here, is a product of LBS. There are people like, I can tell you, Charles Bayon, the Aaron Colley, the Kwame Clement. So those are the product of LBS. So why would you say that? And somebody be telling us there are other private companies, organizations that are helping private institutions in Liberia, the Liberian media, they're also helping them. So what is your question, your answer to that question? Developing the state-owned media station where they can also get platform to all Liberians to have their saying on one platform instead of going to private institution where they charge you arms and legs to at least have your show or have your voice on the show.
Even at the LBS, Jama, even at the LBS, when LBS is revamped from this 5 million, you will not just go there free.
Yeah, but it won't be like a private institution. I mean, I'm just talking about training. I just need people that they are still one of the best legends in media today. They came through the whole of LBS. So what revamp LBS? You're looking at the other side. Why should it be given to? Why? I want you to answer that question. So what about those brilliant journalists we have today? They were through the whole of LBS. Were they not something good for us?
There are still good people coming out of the LBS, Jamal. I'm not necessarily or generally saying that the donation, the gesture is wrong. I am just saying I have a fear because China is Talking something.
That any station, any country will come and drop money into Liberia without getting anything back from it?
It's not so easy to do.
Okay, I'll leave you there. Paul, go on. Let's hear from you, and then we'll go to Linford, who is also a product of LBS, to tell us what is a good gesture. Is something like you can start with Augustus here. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you, Jamal. I think it's a good gesture that the Chinese are coming in. $5 million is a lot of money, and you know, LBS, no matter what we say, they have the institution already there that has been. They have one of the best, how to call it, infrastructure that could do. If we take you back to the 80s before the war, LBS, when we had the analog system, they covered the entire country. While today we are digital and LBS is nowhere and the infrastructure is there. So $5 million to revamp that institution, I think we should welcome this. This is good. But what God said, I think I want to agree with him on this. Is the Chinese giving a $5 million for another black sin? Because there's nothing for nothing. The $5 million, they could be taking billions of dollars out of Liberia. That would be a lot of concern. Are they giving it free without getting anything back? Or they want to do it as a goodwill gesture? That's another thing. But with this information that LBS needs to be revamped, I think it's welcoming. Instead of all depending on Spoon Network, which become the propaganda arm of Unity Party that bringing news to us instead of LBS doing this, I think we should welcome this. If this happens, then Linford, I think probably soon he could be director of LBS in the next government. You never know. It will be a good thing.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Well, Linford served as, I think Linford got his training from LBS, got trained, got coached, brought up 30 years in journalism. Linford sitting here tonight with us. So take us through, Linford. What do you think? The Chinese coming to help us to revamp LBS. A good gesture, or if for us, we may not. It may not be like God just said. I just want to repeat. God said they came back on the Malam Salim. They tried to work at revamp the station. Nothing came up, and it's another coming back of the Chinese just through saying in our face and take something away without helping us, and they should be helping the other journalists, the own state, own news. I mean, media. They should also help other private institutions, media institutions. Are you with that?
Well, the first thing is I want to dive into a small history city of the whole LPS stuff. When when it used to be ELBC on Capitol Hill, then sharing a building with Ministry of Information, that's when I got close to it. I was there on several different occasions. I remember Shema Brown used to have this show. And the Summer Brown show, I was on that show, Loranco. I still remember that Scooby, that sneaker factory they had in Ghana, they were, promoting the show that night. I participated, we danced on TV, and that was the glorious days of Liberia, man. And then we went for the million, 56 million, something million question, and I got trapped. I will not forget, I was in 9th grade. The question they asked me was, the tendency for an offspring to resemble its parents, what is it called? That's the question I missed. Otherwise, I would have won the $64 something dollars question. That's what I won. I answered 3 questions. That was the last question. Heredity. The answer is heredity. Oh, even if I die, I'll remember. But I mean, what I'm trying to say, ELPC had programs those days. And then ELPC moved to Pinsville in that new structure. And if you look at that new structure, some of the countries that sponsor that include the Great America through USAID, and then also I think the Germans had a part to play because they had this group, the German group, and most of ELBC employees, the journalists, used to go to America. Some of them go to Germany, some of them go to Holland. I remember a couple of them trained at Radio Deutsche Welle. Okay, and then it became LBS. And how did it become LBS? because they have brought a television station, and it was modern television station where they could mix the pictures instead of the old analog where you got to trace the antenna, to catch a signal. So when they brought it, then they built new studios. At the time, I was already at ELBC, 1988. They started that project, I think, 86 or 87. And then when I went, they were building the studio still. I remember we used to go in the studio, see the guys working. And then they included LRCM, which was the institution that I work with. And that was a sponsored, or USAID sponsored project. And that was actually a project radio station. We were not national radio station, so to speak. That's why we had the central programming unit in Monrovia, and then we had 3 stations in Banga, Vanjama, and Swedru. So all we're doing in Monrovia was producing contents, program contents, like the jingles and promos and everything, especially for health purposes, agriculture purposes, and other things. And then we send it to the counties and the broadcast. But then we started also from the central, we started broadcasting because we had all of the facilities. In fact, I was when I got employed, Sunday Buku Church, and we had a program called Newspaper on Air. The same thing we're doing here. From Monday to Friday, we collect all the major newspaper stories, and then we read it. Since there were no newspapers going in Europe, then we started broadcasting. But we were not direct on the rural stations. We had a machine called the ISB, the International, the Independent Sub-Band. That's the whole antenna for it. So after we produce the program, we'll read it in our studio, but the guys will receive it. They have a receiver in the various station. They will receive it, dub it or copy it, and then play it at the time they want to play it. So then when they saw, then ELBC decided to incorporate the TV, because it used to be ELTV. So they decided to incorporate the TV and the LRCN together to make it a system. So if you hear the word today, Liberia Broadcasting System, that's how it started. And then, there were several countries that were helping ELBC. Some of them I can't name because I was not in a position to know which countries. That was managerial. But it's not strange for the Chinese to come to help in Liberia at this time with our broadcasting system. Like guys said, during the Mara Salif term, they helped to upgrade the system, because if you all recall here, during the wartime, ELBC and all the stations went flat down. Okay, they were burned and everything was looted. So the concern that guy is raising, I would also want to raise similar concern. We've got state-owned properties that are sensitive, like the telecommunications, okay, like the radio stations. Those are sensitive things that the state own, and you got to be very careful with it. I also want to join the guy to ask, why are the Chinese so interested in Africa? If you look at the African Union headquarters in Kenya, who built it? The Chinese. Not safe, not one penny, even the workforce. People, the water they're drinking, no African country pay for it. So, we're getting these free things from from China, and then we are happy, and the Chinese, somebody said, I read something somewhere where they say the Chinese are buying Africa gradually. They want to take over Africa. And the next group you see coming are the Russians. So we got to raise concern. Yeah, somebody doing good for you. It's just like you're fine getting it time. Then one guy you're calling you, giving you money every day. Ask yourself, why the man giving me money every day? In as much as you enjoy the money that the man is giving you, you should ask yourself, what's behind it? There is no free lunch. Anyway, if I offer you lunch today, tomorrow you will offer me something. So, I think in as much as we receive these goodwill gestures from our friends around the world, we should be happy. But at the same time, let us be careful how we do it. So, and then the next thing we got to look at is, how will this money be used? And if somebody were to ask me to make suggestions, how this money should be used, the money should not in the first place come as cash. I will not agree. I will not support that. This money, 5 million, if you bring in some as cash, let it be maybe 100,000 as cash for some, overhead costs. The rest of the money, let it come in material or training, forms. Send some people to China, because you're going to bring materials, equipment. So the equipment you bring in, same engineers to China to learn about it, because these things are not manufactured in Liberia. So the engineers in Liberia, yes, they know how to tie wires. Paul here is an engineer, you know what I'm talking about. But you got to have somebody to go to the base, to the source of where this thing is coming from. At least 1 or 2 points. I remember, you know, when ERBC was ERBC, they sent a couple of cars to Germany. Okay. And when they came back, they could handle the equipment, the TV equipment, you know, instead of just bringing the equipment and then you leave it in the hands of the Liberian technicians, yeah, or Liberian engineers. They just like the guy will open a book. Okay, this is some power source. You look for it, then you see it, then you read about it. And probably might not, you know, meeting it well. So they should, if I were to make suggestion, I would ask China to bring some equipment. And Paul, I think it was Paul or somebody who talked about, you know, ERBCs, or I think guy or so ERBCs will cover the rest of the country, yes. And we also have the vernacular. So now we have technology. You do need to go build one big hell of a radio station in branch there. No. Yeah.
Let me interrupt you a little bit. I know, thank you very much. You gave some background information. The two thing I want to ask you right now, you guys are asking, giving conditions. Liberia don't, if you look at the present government right now, we don't have, and the guys are bringing something for us. Are you giving them conditions? Because you don't have it already. You just told us that you don't listen, you don't pay it anymore. You don't have anymore. You're telling you, we'll fix your place for you and give it to you and give it to you back. Give us something in return. We don't know what it was, what's being discussed in the back. But then you give me conditions, and what much they don't want that condition, they say we'll take that money back. What will you do?
Oh, what? But I don't think the condition I'm giving is something difficult. That if somebody wants to, you want to give me, you say you want to give me money.
I'll tell you something. Okay. I'll tell you something. Just getting for, you know, from Clay from the Hydro to Johnsonville, the World Bank is working on the electricity or something like that, some of the water to get it to that level. So from the city to town, World Bank left that. It's like the government should find a way. They tell you what they can reach, what area they can do. People that come with a project, they'll tell you this is what we can do. We bring in the money.
Again, let me tell you.
Can we make
because but you know, that's why if I don't know how this we're just talking about, whether it was done through negotiation or China just say, okay, we're collecting the money to can give it to you. You know, whether the Liberian government negotiated with them, I don't know. But if the Liberian government negotiated with them, I think they should sit down, because if I'm coming to you, I want you to do something for me. I'll tell you the reason why I want you to do the thing for me, and I'll tell you how I want it to be. Because not because they gave me your money, so they just can say, okay, we bring in the equipment or we give you the cash. But okay, if you can give us the cash, fine. But what we need, we cannot buy in Liberia. So bring some of these things in material. That if our Director General of ERBC, the money, I would not touch 1 cent cash. I'll tell them, bring this equipment, the one that's supposed to be installed at Central. Then we got 15 countries now installed. That simple technology we're using now. You can have, you know, receivers. You know, the ISB receivers placed in these countries with small radio stations, at least, you know, substations. So every program that is being done in Liberia, I mean in Monrovia rather, because we take Monrovia to be Liberia, in Monrovia can be really simultaneously. That the man in Nigeria will say, oh, what they say yesterday. We talk about why it's happening now is if people using cell phone to do these things. Why the Chinese can do it? Very simple. That's simple thing I'm talking about.
Okay.
And then
Lipo, that was what we're allowed to go through tonight. And we will find another time we'll discuss.
Yeah, sure.
So, Jamal.
Yes.
Jamal.
Yes, sir.
Jamal.
Yes.
You see, you asked the question about this $5 million and Linford said few institutions that state-owned, you don't mess about, telecommunication and the radio station.
Yeah.
Could you imagine all the senator ride $40,000, $80,000 car, and this institution, for Christ's sake, they cannot generate money to put into the institution. It have to be Chinese that will come in to give their hand out. Then Chinese will take billions of dollars from Liberia. What kind of country is Liberia? This is one country. It's not a normal country. I keep seeing it.
All right.
Just take 4 vehicles. That's the equipment they need over there.
Lacholo play. I'm not even cutting you off, right? China could not only be taking billions of dollars from Liberia in mineral for this kind of gesture. China could be controlling your state communication service as
That's
well.
another point.
Because
Exactly.
China has outside international geopolitical antagonists or rivalries. And China could be more interested in you now broadcasting some of these things or informing international public and our own public concerning some other informations. So
And just to
China
add
could
to
be
what guy, I'm not cutting you off as well. Just to add to what guy is saying, anybody who remembers the Omega Tower, do you know why the Omega Tower was in Liberia? The time they needed during the Cold War,
Yeah.
the time America needed that Omega Tower, there was 7 of it around the entire world. Around the entire world, it was 7 of them. And Liberia was one of those countries that was strategic, and that's why they had one in Liberia. They didn't just build that thing for decoration. And after the Cold War, when America knew that, they didn't need any long tower again to spy on enemy submarines under the water or intercept, airspaces. So because they have already developed new technology, what they did, they say Liberia can take it. What use do we have for it? Nothing. So they had to scrap it down. So you see, and when Liberia brought that thing, when America brought that thing to build it, Liberia said, yeah, people get job to do this and that. But what were we getting from the Omega? They turned it over to us. What did we do? Nothing. So their interest is what they build these things for. So China is not coming to throw money or because they like us. No, something's behind it.
In fact, Mr. Guer, China's first donation, Jamal, we can hear you. China's first donation to Liberia to renovate the ELBC, there was a rumor, and it came from a journalist, and also another social media platform host brought the same issue up. What did the guy say? He mentioned the same thing, that the Omega Tower has closed. China's interest is to run some network similar to the Omega Tower. Because there was this news that when Charles Taylor left Liberia, America was running some underground station, some submarine or something, right on our ocean, offshore. So it's their stuff they're trying to do. So I am saying we just have to be careful how we operate with them. We can accept these donations.
Simba, you are very flat. Something is wrong with your microphone. Check your mic.
We're not hearing you, Jamal.
Yeah.
My system got frozen. Hello, you hear me now, I guess?
Yeah. Let me give you a popular advice, Jamal. There's a place in Monrovia, in the Pinsway area, they call Relay Market. And they sell a lot of good equipment there. So whenever you're around there, try and get yourself some better equipment, and then your voice keep going up and down. We're talking about China. So this is the thing that people get
Chinese made.
Yeah. So
okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Guys, we're looking at a situation where we would discuss issue where the apart from the Chinese, we're going to go in this topic, the major discussion where Leif will be taking us to, where Liberian have signed years of contract. We're going to discuss that after the newspapers headlines. How many years they giving to Liberians to sign contract with companies that are eating up into our resources. We'll discuss it. So this is why I want to hold you guys a little bit lower so we can go into that deeper, where you will see how many billions of dollars most of those companies are from Asia. They are investing into Liberia, and they have given it years to stay in Liberia. So those things we'll discuss. So it's part of tonight. So I want you to sit down. After we review our major newspaper headlines, we'll take you through that. We'll discuss that in detail. So in the meantime, I want to take you guys through here, guys. This is another story that make major headlines. The new superintendent to be confirmed. They are asking for $1 million as CDF, that is County Development Funds. Before the government, this is a story from one of the Liberian major newspapers tonight. This is on 11. That was yesterday's news story. It says that each county development fund was $200,000 was given to each county. Now the superintendents are asking for $1 million to be upgraded to $1 million for county development fund. Is this right? Are they underfunded, or can they make their own money, or should government put in this? That's the question, guys. So can we take this through? I think the ministry, I don't know, what do you guys think? But they're asking for $1 million each county should get $1 million for county development fund. Is this a right appeal? Is it a right something they put into? I think there's something before the House right now. The bill they're talking about raising the county development fund to $1 million. Are they making a just call, or is this something that they are not being innovative enough to make their own money or bringing businesses to raise funds for their own county? What do you guys think? I'll take from the top. Labor, what do you think?
For me, I think this is ludicrous. It's unrealistic. You already have a country that can hardly survive, that can hardly raise its own funds to survive. We are indebted throughout all the countries in the world. Even you won't take down Guinea, say we owe Guinea. You won't take down Google. You check Google owe Guinea something. Then superintendent will have a county development funds, and somebody will ask, even with the meager amount that they've been receiving, the small money that they've been receiving before, what can some of them show as outcome of that development fund that they received? Then they ask for 1 million each. And can you imagine? We got 15 countries now, so you're talking about $15 million. $15 million. There are certain things that are not just practical. It's like you look at it and say, I will not die. It's impossible, you will die. So, for people to be making the kind of request, I think they just want recognition, one, and two, they try their luck too, because of course the lawmakers are walking away with huge sum of money, and when they pass one bill or when they sign something a contract, they get huge cut. While the post superintendents are sitting there, I also feel for them, because if you superintendent, your county people expect that you're receiving big money and you sort of develop that county, you sort of renovate bridges, and some of the counties don't even have fitting the county administration building. Some of them don't have 51. So, I think they're thinking big, but it's not just realistic. For me, I don't think it's realistic. What they should be pushing for is to receive that amount that they've been receiving, because some of them even complain, some countries even complain that they don't receive it at all. So if you are not being receiving the small thing they've been giving you, then you go raise it way up. So ask yourself, what are you receiving? So I think it's unrealistic. They shouldn't be pushing for that kind of thing.
God, is that an unfair call that the superintendents are calling for $1 million US for the county development fund? Or is it something you just want to misuse the fund, or they don't know what they're talking about? What do you think?
Thank you, Jamal. So listen, the superintendents had, for the last two governments, noticed that legislators have been so corrupt, and they themselves are superintendent. Look, Liberia, we're not progressing. We are retrogressing, and we see it's becoming a norm for our society, for people to just see corruption. I think the other day we said it here on the platform that there was some analysis or some report that says most of the people that have high earnings are employed from Liberian government, only government job. And that's why people are only running for government jobs, you see? So who here remember? It's not anything like to say I'm making my own story. We all know, we remember the story from Alex Tyler and the other superintendent, that at the end of the day she had to, and another lawmaker, Alex Tyler, one superintendent, another lawmaker, and that famous tape that was around. And the journalists were also making fun of it, where they were playing one of the lawmaker voice that said, I got beaten. And so even Abel Masaleh was involved as well. So now the new breed of superintendent know that, okay, for the last two governments, we've pushed and pushed. It has not happened. This is our time to make it happen. It's unrealistic. County development funds has been there. I work with NGOs that were partnering with government institutions that were putting into use county development funds. And if you cannot produce any meaningful project for the county, some of them just wanted the money, and the lawmaker will not dish that money out for you. If you can write project for the county, why should they give you the money? If you don't have anything meaningful, substantial for the county, why should they give you the money? So it has been a whole tussle. You see, now they are united in this fight. in a corrupt fight. They are very united in it now. Why?
They may say
50 million.
they are not even elected official. They are appointed. The president can say, okay, all of you who making the request, I sack all of you. I'll replace
Yes,
you.
during the referendum, a lot of them were pushing that there should not be elections for superintendents.
Okay. I understand that. Let me take to the law to the play. You see, if you look at it, it's also be unfair for them. If you look at some of these, the maintenance, the office fee for some of these legislatures is more than what the one superintendent county will receive on an annual basis, like 200,000. Now, if you look at the budget from one of these office of these, the speaker, deputy speaker alone, the budget for the deputy speaker, compared to the budget, and that is of the county. So they are saying it's not fair for them to take 200,000 when those guys are taking over 500,000. So, Paul, I'm just take that to you. The brothers are saying it's not fair, but then what do you think? If the lieutenants are making this call, because if you look compared to others government officials like the House of Representatives and Senators, their budget alone is 2 times what they are earning on an annual basis of county development. What do you think, Paul?
Well, Jamal, thank you. I mean, this is a very interesting topic, and I will refer you back to what I usually say. Liberia is not a normal country. These guys you see over there, there's one big elephant meat they have in Liberia, and these guys know that the representative and the senators have been cutting the bigger part of that elephant meat, so they want their own cut. If Liberia is a normal country, by this time, for many years, people have been calling for decentralized power. People should be able to elect their own representatives, senators, and how to call it, superintendents. If these guys were elected as superintendent, they will have had agenda to say, well, based on my agenda, the county will generate money from here by coming up with projects or how to generate funds. But they just been appointed less than 3 months, they want $1 million each. What do you think, what the proposal that they bring on that the $1 million will go into? It's not there. They just want to cut this major elephant meat that we have in Liberia. So that's why I say Liberia is not a normal country. If you go west south Liberia, Sierra Leone, they have local authority. Local authority generates their own funds for their local authority. Why is it Liberian they keep appointing these how they call them superintendent? Why they cannot decentralize power? You see, look, say let's take Maryland example for example. Maryland is one of the smaller counties. If you elect the superintendent over there, they will come up with projects. They will even create their own tax system that will benefit that county. But these guys, they know that tomorrow Burka will call and say you fire. So let me get hold of that $1 million. When I get sacked, at least I got something for the next few years to survive. It's all about survival. They're not doing it in good faith.
Thank you very much. So I think that was the point of transition.
Your voice gone down, Jamal?
Hello?
Yes, it's
You heard me?
better.
Yeah, you hear me. I was
Yes.
just saying we need to transition to another topic. I'd love to talk tonight about. Thank you. I got your side of the story on these things. I mean, it's like if you look at it, the scriptures are saying if the representative can get over $500,000 in terms of budget over the year, and we are a county, and a ministry can get over $500,000 in terms of budget. What about us as a county? If you look at county, we consider as a country. So why can't we have something $1 million? So you guys are saying it's not a fair argument or it's not a fair proposal. So let's leave it at that level. And I want to break in this one. This is something that our controversial representative for District 10, Marshall County. This is why they have this is a new story that came out just 2 days ago. House launches probe into Yeka's rude behavior. So Yeka has been very rude to the first family. So they are kind of scrutinizing his behavior. He says he's not being very decent in terms of character. So therefore, they want to scrutinize him. They want to put him under control. Is it because it's a unity party? Is it because Yeka is saying something? Somehow Yeka is going too much above. Yeka has gone above the bound. I'll take this to God. God, you say Yaka is getting too much, just even extreme his criticism, or is he doing the right thing?
The other day, Jamal, when you were now on the platform, I said the same thing. Yeke comes from a district. As a matter of fact, as a chairman in the district, I was running my own project when Yeke was running campaign, and because he had interest in the place I was conducting one of the projects, I was building a mini bridge in my community. My own earn money, not politician money, my own money. And Yeke thought I instituted that as a way to slow down his campaign process. He's a very emotional person. And some of the things he has been doing over the past leadership, over the past government, for me, I believe they have just been mere allegations because he has not proven anything. I'm not saying it because CDC is out today. I said it even when CDC was there. When CDC was in government, I said the same thing, and you can be a lawmaker. And yeah, I agreed with the kind of Liberia we have. You need somebody that is very vocal. But there are other people who are more vocal and they are coordinating themselves well. Why should the lawmaker just constantly insist on doing things that are not proper and he feels it's right? And by the time they want to apply the law, then he said the people are coming for him, they're after his family, and this one and that one. He cried baby too much. He cried baby too much. And like we said on the platform also, I think Unity Party has nursed this wound, and it's about time that they feel the same pain also. So I think he's giving back to them what they actually started. But he's wrong. I support the House to put him in order. I don't know to what extent their legitimacy and how do they want to do they are putting in order. But something needs to be done so that the young lawmaker can understand that being vocal is not only the thing that can progress Liberia. And I think I said it earlier on, I don't need to repeat myself. A lot of his things have been mere allegations. And he's even going as far into persons and their life history and all of those things. I mean, there are things far, 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 far from politics. It's far, far, far from politics. Yeah. He needs to be checked on a serious note.
So you believe that he's overstepping his bounds? That's what you're saying, yeah?
He has overstepped.
Paul is a very admirable. Linford come to you. Linford has always stayed different positions. Paul is a very good admirer of the honorable man. This is, Paul, what do you think? He said they are saying that the honorable man is going too much, too far. Too far, he's been, so he need to be put in check. What do you think, Paul? You've been a very, very, you admire Yako Koluwa for instance. I don't know where are you on this position.
It's just a laughable situation here, Jamal, to be honest. This guy, they want to investigate him and put him under control because he made remarks outside the house, not inside the house. When he was doing it to George Weah, it was okay. What is the difference between George Weah and Joseph Nima Baka? George Weah was president yesterday. This man stood on the street over his car and went after George Weah. He called press conference on many occasions when it was okay. Buffer Chima was then Speaker of the House. He and Buffer Chima could not see eye to eye, right? What happened? He was not put under control. So because it's Joseph Barker that he brought into power now, seeing it wrong, so they need to put him under control, it's all Unity Party nonsense. What happened yesterday, if it was good yesterday, then it must be good today. And that's the stand. So they should leave Yeke alone. That is his style of doing things. And they have nothing on him because we know that Unity Party have been saying anything. They will expel Yeke from the house. So it's just telling us exactly their plan. You have nothing on this guy. So if you have something, we'll have the Supreme Court taking a court. He does not misbehave in the house. He go on his in his compound, called press conference, expressed his desire. We were just told last few weeks ago that to abuse people in Liberia is free speech. That what Prophet Key went away free when he went after Judy Andy. So what I did now, they seem the very people that said it's free speech, they should leave Yeke alone. Yeke does not misbehave in a house. He called press conference in his compound. That free speech in Liberia. So why are they behind him? Or because he's a representative? Isn't Yeke a representative 6 years ago when he was after George Weah? It was okay. Unity Party embraced that heavy-heartedly. Now they're going after him. I think it's complete nonsense, and I found it preposterous. They didn't get all of Yeke way. Yeah, Yeke flow the way he's supposed to flow. The Liberians love in that way. If they don't want Yeke, the next 6 years they can kick him out of the house. That's what Yeke voted for. The very Unity Party people left their district to go to District 10 to vote for Yeke. They came from all over the country. So it was good for George Weah. It will be good for Joseph Boyka today. Leave Yeke alone. Period.
Right. Paul, if you just joined us, just a reminder, we are coming to you live from Europe. This is the Bottom Liberia. We're discussing the major newspaper that make headlines in Liberia. Tonight on the platform, we got LEITI Agonsway based in Norway, Paul the Lord Church based in London, and our old man, that's Augustus Gartome, based in Germany. He's the CEO of the Spice of East World tonight as a panelist. My name is Jamal Mohammed, Jamal Kamara Kamara, and we're discussing major Liberian newspapers. From that's one segment. Second segment, we'll be looking at the major news where LEITI will be taking us through. But in the meantime, we're looking at what the House is trying to do. They're trying to corner control again for rude behavior. Paul, but he's a gentleman. He's been a little bit indecent in his attitude, insulting, abusing as a family man. They say it's unacceptable. That's the point people are saying. Do you agree with that? Insulting, saying things I shouldn't be saying. In the African society, it's been considered as rude, is it?
So Jamal, it's wrong. What is wrong, but these very people in the house, they embrace it. That's the point I'm making. They knew it was wrong. They could not talk. They left their district to go for this rude guy in District 10. It was okay. Now, because he's doing it to Joseph Boyka, who they part of now, they getting angry. So what I'm saying, what happened yesterday to George Weah, that you embrace, when it happened to you, you should also embrace it. We know it's rude. Rudeness is rudeness. Prophet Key went after Judy Andis for years. When he took Prophet Key to court, SNC Unity Party came out and said, oh, no, it's free speech. So Yeke is giving us free speech. It's rudeness. This is the new Liberia we have. Nothing good about Liberia these days. And this is the point I'm making. Okay. We know it's not a good thing. But you remember, not only Yeke, there's another guy that left, they call Solomon George. You were in the house there too. That's the way of Liberia. That's the star. Okay. Why did he control Solomon George?
I know. I can see your. I know you're a very keen supporter of Yeke, strong supporter of Yeke. I know you stand for him. You've been one of those guys.
Jamal, can I just chip in something quickly?
Okay, go on.
I wanted to say something, and I said, okay, let me just do a short research to back it up more.
2 seconds.
I know somewhere in the 80s, before Doe took over in the coup, public nuisance was a serious crime in Liberia. Like example, you and your neighbor, you're having confusion, and you're just constantly for 1 hour or 2 hours abuses. And your other neighbor report you. They're not just arresting you for your confusion. The government will fine you for public nuisance. When you go check
was this acting into law?
Yes, check the penal code. That's why I said I just did a quick research to read something to you. I'm going to find out, but before I find out, I am somewhere in one of the chapter and subchapter E. Subchapter E of chapter 12, offense against government's integrity. When you go to subchapter E, it talks about, I was just there, yes, abuse of office. When you go somewhere into it, it details some other things that you will understand. It's just an example, but when you get the area where it talks about public nuisance, then you know that even a lawmaker could be caught in that web.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we're probably getting our guests just popping through in the back here. Let me give Linford the chances. Thank you very much for that update. Linford, we're going to suspend one of our newspaper, the last newspaper we're going to go through before you will be bringing you introduce our guests. But Linford, let's get your saying on this Yake's attitude or behavior. Okay. What do you say on this? I want you to take, I know it's not fair for you, but take 3 minutes. So we've got a guest in the background. I will be bringing a guest, which you will take from me. Thank you very much.
Let's allow the guests to settle and adjusting stuff. But when it concerns the Yake issue, is like Paul said, is laughable. Here are a group of people who just few weeks ago, make it 3 months, every month have 4 weeks. So 3 months are 12 weeks. 12 weeks ago, these people were hailing Yeke. Yeke was marching their political leader up and down in the street supporting him. And Yeke has made that clear on all of his podcasts and podcasts, rather, and his press conferences. Yeke said, I brought this government to power, right? And none of them have come to deny that, and there are videos to that. And the United Party people, for them to even be complaining that Yeke is rude, is funny. Here are a group of people who sponsored forever terrorism against another political leader. They call communists all kinds of names. Tomorrow, whatever you can imagine. And all kinds of things. Now, Yeke was in constant habit of abusing President Weah outside, and it was good because Weah was a common enemy there. Now that Yeke had brought this government to power, and Yeke made it clear that he will put this government in check. The reason why he voted for them was to bring change. But if they veer off the way to do the wrong thing, he will come after them. He's not hiding his feeling. And then Paul struck some important point. Where is Buchu Ben Keita, the legal advisor to the president, who took telephone and called the court to say that the Kamara Act is in effect? That is to say that if I cause anybody, it's not an offense, it's not a criminal act, it's not anything that, because it's freedom of speech. Where is he now? I'm waiting to receive a telephone call from him or a letter from him to the house to say you'll leave Yeke. So I don't understand it. And let me tell you, if I was in the house, I would join Yeke. If I'm praying for that day where I'll see 1 or 2 other people that Yeke.
All right.
Do what Yeke. Jamal, listen to this quickly. Listen to this quickly.
We need to summarize, guys. You got a guest in the background. You need to go.
Yeah,
so
guys, we don't have much time. That's why I'm rushing.
Let me close up on this while we bring our guests.
Before it
so it says in subsection E, abuse of office, it says speculating or wagering of official action or information. That's from the penal code.
Yeah, but all of that thing you read.
But why is it there has not been implemented for the past 6 years? If the district was in
it says here from the coup, that's pre-1980 stuff he's reading.
So, guys, I think we have a guest in the background. Let's take a musical break.
The guest on, please.
Before you will take it from me after the musical break. This time, I want to introduce new song. I know we've been playing too much of. I know it's our national anthem here, but let's bring another Liberian artist. We see get a new artist. We want to play that from there. Before you take it from me and introduce our new guest. Thank you very much, and I'll take you from there. Bye.
Pepe can go, le pape said no one to do it, do. pocket roach you. Lepe when you coming true. Y'all can see. All the good God do for me, oh. Papa, your blessing to plant me and I get cut out to oh. You opened door, you made a way. Made my enemy caliphate. They wanna wallow down me. They listen people not saying. Me who they used to tell I mean, they telling me okay, congratulations. They opening corridor for me to pass. So he said,
Well, I think Liberia is getting better, when in terms of music.
Thank you very much, guys. That was a newspaper review. Couldn't finish it tonight. Probably next Linfo.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I'll be Jamal Kamara, and thank you guys for giving me some good thoughts on the newspaper headline. We'll do that next time when I'm here. So Linfo, boys.
Thank you very much for the review of the newspapers, and we'll be bringing in our guests. And the guest here, I will give a little background of this guest and myself. This guest, when I started working at LRC, and his uncle, engineer, Mr. Carr. And so one day, our former boss, the late Paul Blair, called me and said, "Boy, one boy coming, you and he will be working." I said, So then I saw a young man walking, and then I remember the young man here myself in Haywood as well. So I said, "Well, I know the man." And then he said, "But Mr. Carr is my uncle." I said, "Oh, so we had a long history. We started way back, and we were, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we were the two youngest people working at LRC at that time. And we had this boy from America, Sensu. What was his name? Sensu, right? And here we always had two of them more closer than me. They would go out to eat, and then Sensu would ask, "What you call kosher?" And then we would take all that time to explain to him what the word kosher means. So, Russell, I want to say welcome, and this
Thank you.
Liberia. We are a European platform. We are, so to speak, one of the smallest platforms you can imagine. It's all because we are not inflating anything here. We're not abusing people. We're not accusing people falsely. We're not we attract more people. So, as you know, generally, Liberians don't like the truth. So we want to say welcome to you, and
Thank you.
And, yeah, feel free. We understand you're doing some things. I know in the state of Minnesota you've been working very hard concerning the Liberian community there. You were very instrumental in getting some of what Liberians are enjoying today in Minnesota, in the state of Minnesota, or in the Twin City. So, and then you are on another move. So you just want to tell us what's your latest move? What are you doing right now?
Thank you, Linford, and thanks to the rest of the team, Augustus and Lord Paul. Sorry for my late appearance here. Sort of really busy running here and there. We just have less than 24 hours to mobilize and get as many delegates as we possibly can for the convention tomorrow. So that's that's the big thing. That's part of what we are about. So I really appreciate you all bringing me on to try to mobilize our folks and get them to show up tomorrow at the convention to support us. And we are riding the momentum from the last time. So from the last time, meaning the caucuses, the Democratic Party caucus, which took place on February 27th. So we think we're going to ride that momentum through. If you look in the race, there were two candidates. One is a Kenyan immigrant, and the other is a Liberian immigrant. And I lived in the district for more than 20 years. She just moved in the district less than 6 months to run for this seat because she knew it was coming open. So it's incumbent upon us, to show up and participate in the process, and so we ensure that we have representation, because that's what it's about.
Okay. So for those of you Liberians or watching us, especially if you live in the US or in Minnesota or anywhere in the US, and you know somebody in Minnesota, you can encourage them to go out there and also campaign for Mr. Russell, because this thing. I'm sure the other person running in the race with her, with him, she's also encouraging her people. So we have to encourage our people. You know, if there's a Liberian up there, you'll be there for everyone. And this man is not new to that. He's been there. He's been fighting. He's been the vanguard. But you guys, Paul and Jima and Guy, do you have any question for Mr. Russell as he undertake this? Now, remember that this is not Liberia. This fellow is fighting for Liberians outside of Liberia. So do you see the magnitude of the work he's doing? I mean, he could be like any of us and say, "No, listen, man, I'm here. We all came here to hustle. Let me get on my hustle." But he's going out there on behalf of Liberians. Okay, so if you guys have anything or any question to ask him.
So, Locholo play, you want to come in or I can do?
Look, let me just want to welcome Mr. Russell to the platform. I've been following his activities for a while. I think he ran for some major, if I might be right, some time ago. And I know he have done a lot of work with the Liberians fighting for TPS status in the states that we've been following. And I visited Minnesota over 4 times because my family, my aunt, and the rest of the family live over there. So I've been following him. And he's running this thing. And I think we need to encourage our people over there because for some reason, we Liberians, I just want to encourage you not to give up. For some reason, we Liberians, we don't like good people when they're pushing forward for better Liberia for themselves. They say, "Oh, that man, he's something else." So, Mr. Russell, I just want to say, well, we're behind you. We encourage our people in Minnesota to do something about you. So we've been following the progress. When we hear Liberians are making that effort, we hear that and we encourage people to do it. So I don't have a question now, but at time go in our discussion, we'll ask a question. Guys, you can come in.
Okay, that was Lord Cholo play. So, folks, this is what I want us to do, right? I follow Mr. Russell for a while now. I know based on his schedule, we've not communicated so often, and I like what he do, right? So I got impressed and I said, okay, I will pick up the phone and talk to him if from my end I could help in any way, and this is the best way that we can at least get connected to Liberians that will, show up to tomorrow so that the numbers can increase, because election is all about numbers. I don't care what you do, how much campaign, you must make sure that you achieve and accumulate the numbers. So I was impressed by what Spoon did, Stanford and the other folks did for him a day ago. And I want to urge us to see if we can do the same. If only he has the time. His campaign team has a list of delegates. I want to ask you, Mr. Russell, do you still have some of the people that we can talk to on our platform here as well, so that we make it simple and we just call them so that they can know that Mr. Russell is not doing it alone. Even in Europe, people are supporting him.
The unfortunate thing is that I don't have the list with me now because I just came from on the field and to join you guys because I got you a text message. But what I can do is I can send it to you.
If you can call from your phone as well, I think we can do that for maybe the next few minutes.
I don't. Let me see who.
So while you're doing that, today I spoke to a few folks from Minnesota. I talked to a lot of people, in fact, because I got numbers of Liberians from my own community there. Some are in Iowa, some are other places. Imagine folks from Iowa were saying they wish they were around there. They just want to support.
And when it comes to people in Minnesota, I got a bunch of my Radio Library International, Case FM people down there, a lot of them. So some of them most influential, like the former president of AJA is there, and he's one of my former colleagues. So we can also help to talk to people, and I know those are people that I'm Mr. Ross have been working with. But I just want to find out something. What how much do you think, Mr. Russell, that this new position that you want to occupy, if you are elected, how much impact do you think you're going to make on Liberians? I mean, apart from the general, work that you have to do for the entire community, because you're not just going to be working for Liberians. But what are specific things that Liberians stand to benefit?
A lot, Linford, and thank you. So what make this significant, and I think we all have said, if a Liberian wins, no matter where he or she is, all of Liberia wins, right? And so the district I'm running in is District 38A. So outside of Liberia, outside of Monrovia, there the most concentrated Liberians in one particular area live in this district that I live in.
Wow.
So you can't find them in London, in Brussels, in New York, in Philadelphia, Ghana, wherever. I mean, just concentrated in one particular area. You're talking about 15,000 Liberians in one area. So that district, is the same district I served on the Brooklyn Park City Council. But the guy who holds the seat for this district, he is retiring. So it's only natural that a Liberian step up now. Any of Liberia could have stepped up and we supported them, but nobody wants to step up. And we need representation because it's critical to be able to support our small businesses, to be able to support our people with the resources and the connections and all of that. And to a lesser extent, I mean, it's not just people here in Minnesota, but even Liberia, because we can leverage our connection in the state house to provide some resources, depending on what those resources are trying to address. We can provide some resources and all of that. So representation is critical. And since we are the dominant group here, the school district that serve this area, the largest number of students at the school district is Liberian students. The largest number of business owners and all of that, Liberians, put in about $2 billion into the local economy here. So it is significant. But with all of that, Linford, we have no political representation, and that's part of what this is about. So we stand to benefit a lot. We stand to benefit with having access to resources, because one of the things that I try to tell folks is that, look, forget about me. It's not about me. It's about all of us, right? So you see, Augusta, they reach out to me and said, "My man, this stuff is about the community. This stuff is about Liberia, okay?" And that's part of what it's about, because I am only being used, Linford, as a vessel through which the community gets access to resources, access to power. Because in this country, you have to be at the table where the decisions are being made. I'm sure in most places. And since we are the larger group here, we need representation at the table. I mean, it's that simple. So we stand to benefit tremendously.
Look, when I left the phone today with Honorable Russell, I was on the phone with somebody from Minnesota, and other than the testimonies I got from Spoon TV, some of the testimony I got on the phone while calling people, I listened to a guy who told me that, "Oh, I remember the man. I remember, in our Liberian way, right? I remember the man." Then he said, "Oh, guess what?" He said, in Liberia, we call them public defenders, those kind of lawyers that here in Europe, we have them like pro bono lawyers, right? He said, "Mr. Russell was doing all of that thing. When you don't have lawyer, you in certain situation, they will make sure that, you have a lawyer and plenty of people are happy." And then yesterday, I also heard another testimony on the platform where they said, as simple as it is, right? That people can have small get-together like summertime in their backyards.
Mm-hmm.
They had to pass legislation or some community laws that prohibited Liberians from organizing themselves again. So the woman was saying, Mr. Russell was there for us. These things were happening. We could do these things, but he's not there anymore. So the major word that was used is that Liberians must have a seat on the table. And I embrace that, you know.
So Chima, Mr. Russell is here, and I don't know if you have any word of encouragement for him or any question or whatever. Then I can come in. Oh,
Thank you
your
very
son is acting up. Your son is bad.
much.
So what Jama is adjusting, Mr. Russell, when I left the phone with you, I was able to make 11 phone calls, and out of the 11 phone calls, 5 are already delegates. I didn't hear them yesterday on Spoon TV, but they are delegates, and they actually said they are going to seriously go and turn up tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thank you. I applaud Mr. Russell for stepping forward for the position. But I got a couple of questions for you, sir, if you mind. While we try to applaud your bravery and to step forward to represent our people. I know it's not only Liberians. As you say, John mentioned that we have the good numbers there, but you're also going to represent Africans or the immigrant community in general. But I want to ask a specific questions about Liberia. What specific policies and initiatives do you plan to implement to improve the lives of and opportunity of Liberians immigrating in Minnesota, depending if you are elected?
Thank you. You're right. I mean, this is a Big Ten process. We have the support from cross section of people. Of course, we cannot ignore and forget about our base and where we're coming from. So, of course, we revert to our base. But you're right. This is a very diverse group of folks, and what I bring to the table is someone with the experience of working with folks from different generational groups, racial and demographic groups. So I think my appeal is that I can reach across the aisle and work with folks. So some of the things that I will be addressing and I'm passionate about would be like providing resources for our small businesses to be able to thrive, to be able to open a wider market and succeed. I mean, here, unlike say, for example, in Liberia, we gave money to small groups and small organizations, small companies, so that those companies, when they get strong and start making money, they will then in turn pay taxes to the government. So that's how it works. So those are some of the things that I will be doing. So mental health issues, providing resources for mental health. The folks are dealing with a lot of mental health crises, keeping the crime down in my area. So that means I have to support the police or law enforcement to ensure that the crime is down in the area. I said to you all a few minutes ago that majority of the students who attend the Acloser school district, those students come from Liberia. So providing resources to the K-12, to the high school and the school district to ensure that we have a safety there for our students, but not only safety, but resources, food for them, for the kids whenever they go to school. So the whole host of different things, but those are the few that I'm going to work towards and trying to advance, ensuring that we have resources for our crime and to keep crime down and low. To provide increased amount of money for our K-12 students in school to ensure that they can thrive as well, and then work with our law enforcement authority and our business community.
Right, thank you. I want to do a follow-up. I know you just mentioned that we have a diverse group community, immigrant community within Minnesota or Minnesota. I know, what is your relationship with other groups, immigrant groups? And another question comes to that. how do you plan to collaborate, with these groups to address shared concern and advance common goals?
Thank you. I have a very so I've been in this area now for about 20 years. And throughout this time, I've served so many different positions. Many of you know, within this period of time, I traveled to Liberia, where I was an Ebola response manager. I traveled to Nigeria, worked in Nigeria too as well. So I have experience working here, for a very long time, and working with a very diverse group of folks. So we bring it to the table. Like I said, we have a big tent. So I'm working very closely with the ethnic, the different tribal organizations here from Nimba, county. I grew up in Nimba in Ganta. But the Nimba UNICO, the Nimba County Association, working with the Bunk County Association, going to all the various churches, working with the pastors, going to the few mosques that we have here, work with the imam, bringing them on board. I work very closely with the Madingo Association, with the women's group. So a plethora of groups that we've been working with over the years. We continue to work with them, bringing all of them together, because there are strength in numbers, where we all can work together in advancing one common goal. And that's the strategy that we are using, Mr. Kamara, and that's what we continue to do.
Thank you. Let me take the last questions. I know our recently elected president, Honorable Boyka, just talked about creating a diaspora environment for the diaspora, an environment that we can also be part of. I know you're going to be serving America, and what will be your goal in terms of making impact in your country of origin, which is Liberia, creating an enabling environment for Liberians diaspora back home? Do you have anything on as policy or initiatives?
Yeah, I would just continue what I've been doing over the years. I've worked very closely with the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration when she was in power, and I was working as vice president with George Weah. I brought Patrick Suru, the former police director, who gave him some police uniform, and set up an agreement to help to train the Liberian and National Police. So even though my focus is here, I cannot forget about the homeland, because majority of my people who are here are from Liberia. Many of my constituents are Liberian, so I have to care for them too as well. I set up a sister city relationship with Banjul, the Gambia, to ensure that we have cultural exchanges between the two cities. I've hosted the governor from Jos Plateau in Nigeria. While I was on the council, I established a sister city relationship between Brooklyn Park and Kakata. That relationship is still thriving, where we're providing technical assistance to the folks in Kakata to how to around city governance. We provided them with resources for the police and the fire department. So those are some of the things that we will continue to do to build on that. I just had a meeting 2 or 3 weeks ago with the current police chief, Gregory Coleman. He was just here. We are now arranging a training package for Brooklyn Park. I work very closely with President Barker. He knows me personally. Serving in the city, so we'll continue that. So there may be others that will be bringing on other programs and and policy agenda items that we'll be bringing on, especially helping the Liberian government grow its economy and helping with the small and medium-sized companies and micro enterprises and all of that. Those are things that I would like to add on to all of the things that we're currently doing.
Okay, our time is fast spent, and we got very important thing to discuss, and Mr. Rosa is going to be over. I don't know how much time he has. We're going to take 10-15 minutes to discuss that, because we need to get the views of people who make policy. And but let me just ask you this question: besides Liberians, even though in your district, the highest number is Liberians, but there are other immigrants. In fact, that's why that lady from Kenya is running. What is your relationship on your grounds with the rest of the other people other than Liberians, the other immigrants?
Yeah, thanks, Linford. we have an excellent relationship. Like I said, we've worked here over 20 years, and over those 20 years, we built really solid relationship with the Nigerian community, with the Gambian community, with the Ghanaian community, with the Guinean community, with the Sierra Leone community. So I have a really great relationship with them, but not just, say, hey, what's up type of relationship, but relationship where we are producing results, where I'm working.
So you're gonna draw some support from that group.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. For Liberians, this one is not going to Mr. Russell, but for you Liberians listening, if you got anybody in America, anywhere in America, call them and say, if you know somebody too in the place called the state called Minnesota, especially you based in Minneapolis or in
Brooklyn Park.
Brooklyn Park. I was there the last one, the 2016. That's many years ago. But so if you know anybody living in that area, call them and tell them about Mr. Russell, and I know they may have heard of him. So and we just want to say we wish you well. If you have any final word for the people that that you trying to rally support among, especially in that area, you can give your final word to them, and then we'll also take the last session of the show.
Thank you. It's great being on. It's the first time being on your platform, so it's an honor. I really appreciate it, Augustus. Thanks for seeking me out and inviting me. I really appreciate it. It also gave me an opportunity to reconnect with my good old friend. We've not long time. We were young men. Young boys or men, young boys when we started. So in this business, so it's so wonderful to see him here still doing great work and all of that. Lloyd, also appreciate it. It was great meeting you. I know Mr. Kamara has just stepped aside, but I'd like to say thanks to him too. I'm grateful. So Linford, it was good being there. I just want to encourage all of the Liberians who live in Brooklyn Park in Osceola, there's District 38A. Tomorrow is our convention. I'm seeking the Democratic Party endorsement that will take me to the primary August 13th. So this process is not over yet. So after this, we get to go to the primary, which will be in August. So, but your support will help give me that boost that will take me to the primary. So I thank you, and thanks again for the opportunity, and we look forward to seeing you all who will be around and who can make it tomorrow at Northview Middle School in Brooklyn Park at the intersection of Zane and 69th. So until then, I'll talk to you all later, and thanks again for the opportunity, and look forward to seeing you before the primary in August. Hopefully you guys can have me back on and we can have another conversation.
Yeah. Okay. In fact, after this, after tomorrow, maybe if you have a time, just touch base, and then you can tell us the result or watch yourself in the process tomorrow. But and so that's it.
We'll get some calls to guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're gonna be busy on the phone now. I know. After we hang on now. You guys in the evening there now, so I'll be making some calls. But Mr. Russell, there's something very important that we'll be looking at. There is this this document circulating on the internet. That is the Liberia Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, LEITI. Now this group, this thing you hear, if you remove the L, then it becomes Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. So it's an international organization, and this group coordinates, the extraction or companies that go into this business of extracting minerals from other countries or something like that. And then they coordinate and make sure that the rules are abided by, and they make sure that there are terms and agreements. There are rules that people got to follow, countries got to follow, and even the communities got to follow. But this group is in Liberia. I'm sorry that the prints are so small that we can see. I don't know if I can make it bigger from my era. Okay.
Or you can send it to his WhatsApp as well. Then he can view from there.
Okay.
Clearly.
Yeah. So here we have. Let me just get back to. here we have this thing here. And let me see why I'm talking, if I can send it to Mr. Russell quick. So probably he knows, he has seen it before. But here we have companies operating in Liberia, and these companies, they have concession agreements that span over several years. Can you imagine? Several generations to come. And if you look at some of them, they are very critical, to the point where we that are sitting here now, we may not be around. These companies are already operating in Liberia, but we that are here with the kind of age behind us now, we may not be around to see the end of their concession agreement. And Liberia is bound to the documents that they have signed to operate in the country, disregarding what may happen in the future. Whether there will be companies that will come that want to offer good rates to the government for doing a similar thing that these people are doing now for what we are getting, we don't know. And then we ban ourselves. Common example is the Firestone plantation that came to Liberia in 1925-26, and they got 99 years contract, and even when Madam Selin took over, they have to extend the contract. And today we sit and complain, oh, you know, Firestone is extracting the rubber, they're not manufacturing it here, they're not doing anything. Come on, plastic bag that used to go in the market, we can't make it in Liberia. Can you imagine? And we are still stuck to that agreement. So, guys, I just want us to throw light on it from our own perspectives. What do we think? Are these things, you know, healthy for our society? I will again, let me see if I can make it bigger. I don't know if I make it bigger, only me seeing it or all of you seeing it. Yeah, but I'll try to send it to Mr. Russell. He can just skim it through it very fast. Or where's my WhatsApp? So, guys, you have seen this document. Look at some of the companies there. Start with the first company, number one. There are about 10 companies here. Start with the first one and tell us. Read all the information they got there. While I'm trying to find this in the send it to Mr. Russell.
Okay, let me just go through it quickly.
Oh, you boy, not really. Okay. But I think the first company right here is
It's Sam Dabi, right?
yes, I mean
Sam Dabi.
Sam Dabi or adequate. Okay. Let's see.
Sam Dabi. This is agriculture. Is that a palm company in Grand Cape Mark County?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
Sam Dabi operates Grand Cape Mount County, and I think between Cape Mount and Gapolu or so.
Yeah, from what I see, they have 63 years. Oh, wow. Wow.
Then we have
This
Western
is-
Cluster. 2.6 billion is a mining entity, Mano River, in 25 years, since August 2011 to August 2036. China Union Investment, 2.6 billion, and it's also mining investment in bond, 25 years, since January 19, 2009, and it runs up to 2034. Then we have Equatorial Palm.
Just send it to you.
Come again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Equatorial Palm, 100 million agriculture. The investment is in agriculture, Grand Bassa, 25 years. And from August 2008, it runs to 2033. We have Maryland Oil Palm Plantation, 64 million is agriculture, Maryland County, 25 years. And with an automatic extension of 10 years. So yeah, that's question mark again to such kind of agreement. But it started 2011 and runs up to 2036. Then we have the Kavala Rubber Plantation, 78 million agriculture, Maryland County, for 50 years from 2011 to 2061. Then we have Metasti Holding, 1.6 billion. I think the first Metasti is 1.6 billion. Mining, Nimba, Bone, and Grand Bassa County, 25 years from August 2010 to August 2035. Then we have BHP Billiton, Liberia, and not active, but still holds a valid lesson. 1.5 billion mining in Nimba and Rivers, 25 years from June 4, 2010 to June 3rd, 2035. Then we have Golden Beryllium, Liberia Incorporated, 2 billion agriculture, Maryland County, Sano, River Cess, River G, and Grand Creek County, 65 years, from September 1st, 2010 to September 9, 2075. Then Putu Iron Ore Mines, Putu Iron Ore Mining Incorporated, now active but still holds a valid lesson, 2 billion mining, investment is in mining, and Grand Gita, 25 years from May 18, 2005 to May 18, 2030. Then we have Baoshiko, 500 million is mining. Bapolu, 25 years, June 2022 to June 2047.
Wow. So, guys, can you imagine that these contracts are signed not considering the present generation or the future, but they sign it. You talk about small money. Eh? So far, the largest amount I see here is 2.6 billion. Okay, that's and that's from Western Cluster and China Union.
China Union.
Yeah, 2.6 billion. But the rest of the money, they're all in the millions. Okay, and then our lawmakers, all the government goes into this kind of agreement. I'm not worried about us here. I'm not worried about the present generation. I'm thinking about the future. Nobody knows the next 10 years what will happen. And then you take companies and give them, because like Paul normally say, Liberia now a regular country or normal country. Normal country, what you do is you give these contracts on a short-term basis so that you will leave room for corrections, for modifying, for modification. But you do it, you make it long like this, 63 years. Can you imagine? Even you signing a contract, you will not be around for 63 years anymore. And then you have the future generation struggling to undo something that you've done. You are not around to help them undo it. So, guys, I don't know. Let's start with Mr. Russell saying he's our guest on the show here. These are some of the contracts that your country has signed. What do you think? What are the advantages and disadvantages that you see here?
I mean, it is shocking that we have a lot of these contracts with some heavy amount attached to them, and at the end of the day, we don't see how the people are benefiting. I mean, the direct impact that these concession agreements have had on the lives of people. I've been throughout Liberia. I mean, whenever I'm there, I'm visiting different parts of the country, and the impact is not felt from all of these concession agreements. And people are there. These companies are coming in, sucking out the resources, the natural resources, and these are non-renewable resources. So once they're gone, they're gone. So
they diminish. Yeah.
Yeah. Once they're replenished, I mean, you cannot. Once they're gone, you cannot replenish them. So I think one of the things that we have to do, and what we do here, is to ensure that whenever these sort of agreements are coming into play, that we set up a community benefits agreement. What would be the benefit of this mine, especially if it's in the particular area that is in? How is it going to benefit the people? What is the net sum that we are getting from these concession agreements? But I mean, sadly, many of what I've heard is that because of the kickbacks that some of our government officials receive to get these contracts signed, at the end of the day, the people need the money. They were not in business for charity; they were in business to make money. So if you're going to take some money from them on the front end, guess what? They're going to take that money back. They're going to try to get their money back either on the back end or put it within the project. You see people living in substandard housing in some of these concession areas. I mean, it is unacceptable. I mean, in this day and age, we can allow these folks to come in and sign these contracts, but who do you blame? I mean, the average person, we will have to look at our lawmakers, because they are the ones who are pushing this through. You look at the president, you look at the legislators. I mean, the folks there in the House and in the Senate. They are the ones that we need to put this stuff at their doorstep and say, look, you guys need to turn this around, because we cannot afford and continue for our folks to continue to live this way and get cheated out of the God-given resources. I mean, it's not helping them at all. But meantime, you see our leaders riding flashy cars and building 2, 3, 5-story buildings and homes and beachfront properties and all of that. This has to stop. This has to stop, and it needs to stop like now.
Paul? We are muted, Paul.
Okay, so
Linford,
go ahead, Lord Chillipley.
I keep saying my country of birth is not a normal country. And the reason what I say that is exactly what we just displayed here right now. Some guy I listened to called Jay Rennie in America, he said Liberia will get better in 2065. It means our great-great-grandchildren, when we're gone, maybe like what Russell is doing in the U.S., people that will see the work that he has done, some child will leave from there to correct the mistake that our people making in Liberia. The place is a doomed state, and our people just seem not to get it. And that's what's happening. How can you sign such agreement and the country don't benefit? It's just wrong. Absolutely wrong. I don't know how this is going to be fixed, but Mr. Russell, I think the dual citizenship thing, maybe when you have won your seat after retirement, you can go back to Liberia to help correct some of the mistakes. These are the things that we need to look at.
I mean, if they'll let us, I mean, we try to lend our expertise in so many different areas in the city of Monrovia to try to turn things around. Many of you guys, I heard it in Europe. I mean, you see how cities operate there. But if you go back to Liberia, so it's not for the lack of trying, my brother. So we have offered our services. We try to work closely with them. We work very closely with Kakata, for example. But whenever they try to do something different there, the lawmakers in Monrovia sort of try to manipulate the process or control what things, how things are done. So I mean, so if they let us, if they let you, I mean, you have Linford here with many years of broadcasting experience. I mean, we need help in that sector, but the way things operate in our country, sadly, they don't. We celebrate mediocrity. We don't go after people who, with the qualifications and the skill set, to turn things around or to do things better. So until we can get there, we'll continue to wallop in this abject poverty, and our country can be so dysfunctional. We look at neighboring countries. We pass through Ghana and Ivory Coast and all these places, and they were moving up. They were doing things differently. It's just not rocket science. They're not smarter than we are, but they have the political will. They have the courage and the political will to try to turn things around and do things better. And until we can find that, Lord Paul, I mean, we just be like a hamster, in a wheel, just going around in circles.
Okay, guys, I know you want to say
all right, yeah, guys. So I have to run. I have to jump on to. We need to go and start knocking some doors and trying to get delegates to come in. Once again,
Honorable Russell, just before you take leave of us, you just mentioned having coordination and connections with cities where you offer your expertise, and sometimes you've been turned down. So there's a new leadership that Liberian people has trusted to take on for 6 years. And we see the Somalia draft area and the red light area, which is the Pinsville City Corporation. And most of the factories there, it's becoming more of an industrial area, and the city is not totally clean. Environmental pollutions, wastewater management is not taken care of. And you found out that the wetlands that should be preserved, you know, for precipitational purposes and other good sanitation purposes are being misused. You gave the chance to the Painesville City Corporation to work along as well, if they get in touch.
Yes, I'll get the chance to any of the cities in Monrovia, you know, my hometown city of Ganta, or, you know, my the city that is dear to my heart, Harper, Maryland County, any of these cities. You know,
I'm from Kavala.
Okay, you're from Kavala. Okay, great. And
Yeah.
you're from the Plebo area. So yeah, so we you know, during the WE administration, we provided 2 decommissioned playground equipment for Painesville. We work with Painesville very closely. We try to turn things around. This new administration that came on board, one of the reasons why, I mean, many people who follow me, you know that I was in Liberia. I was in Liberia in August. I was in Liberia in November. I was in Liberia in January. And we give them an action plan as to how we can turn the maneuver around outside of just cleaning the trash. So, okay, what happens once you move the trash? Then what happens? You know. So a comprehensive plan of how we can turn Monrovia around, like any one of these small European cities or any place. I mean, we don't even have to go to Europe. Look right next door, in Cocody in Ivory Coast, or you know, or even in Accra.
Exactly.
Because these places are planned out. Okay, they were laid out, they were planned out. I mean, zoning laws are followed. So we give them a plan, Augustus. We went there. We give them a plan. But I'm not a United Party man, so of course I was not. I didn't contribute to the election, to the campaign. But I have an expertise that they know of, that I have published, you know, works on what we can do to turn any of these cities, you know, city around. And we were not embraced. I mean, you know, essentially because we're not part of that political establishment. So,
do you mind if I drive? Do you mind if I drive the connection? I'm not a Unity partisan, but I have friends and.
I mean, all of this is for the countries, for the community. Many people who follow me know my expertise in the area of urban planning, and I mean, for years I published this stuff. I write about it. You know, I serve on the Brooklyn Park Planning Commission. I serve at the city council. I mean, where we are responsible for $300 billion worth of infrastructure. You know, building. You know, building city streets and roads and bike lanes and all these different things. So I mean, it's no secret, brother. So, but you have my permission. You give it your best shot.
Okay, I will tell the current city mayor about that. I will share the video as well with him.
Okay, guys, I think
Right.
Mr. Russell is on heels. So, Mr. Russell,
Thanks for coming.
We're gonna have you back here, and
Thank you.
this is your home. And I think we feel.
I mean, as long as you're on there, will be my home. I know that.
I know. So,
and for me, prophetically, I want to say I see you to the next level now. Tomorrow election is for you already.
Thank you. We embrace that. We appreciate that.
Okay. And that's why we all on the portal line wish you, and we hope that we can have you back again. Thanks a lot.
Okay, my dear brother. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Oh, guys, that's it.
No, Lord Linford, I have not given my take on this LEITI issue.
Yeah. We're coming home now. We'll use the next 15 minutes. We're going to leave from 11:30, so we'll use the next 15 minutes. So can you tell us, well, I don't know what you're going to say, but we generally feel that these concessions
have different argument altogether. But you can go ahead.
Yeah, so you flow, okay. Let's hear what you have to say.
So one of the concession agreement here shocked me so much. The golden Verellum.
Automatic.
Golden Verellum. Golden Verellum takes 65 years. And what's their investment? $2 billion. What are they doing? Mining.
No.
Can you imagine that?
You're not
Palm.
money.
They drink palm oil, I think.
Palm
I saw
oil.
not sorry, they're doing palm oil. Sorry, I was reading the wrong place. Yeah, they're doing palm oil, but golden beryllium takes 65 years. And
You know,
listen,
God, let me throw something to you so you can add on it. One of our own EFLA president is the vice president for Golden Verena, Elvis Morris. Just telling you. And it just shows how Liberia operate. And that concession was signed during the early administration. He's very close to the current president. Something just not right with our country. Whether they come from America, come from Europe, this is what we get. And I just want to throw that a EFLA. What we're talking about, EFLA man is sitting pretty. Number 2.
Yeah, but EFLA is not anti golden verona.
No, it's not anti, but just telling you, I just put it there so he can
Yeah,
add
but
on it.
when you emphasize EFLA,
so like I was saying, right? 65 years. They only getting 65 years old. But listen, they gave them like 4 or 5 counties for $2 billion.
Can you imagine?
They just gave them 65 years, but 4 or 5 counties: Maryland, Sano, River Cess, River G, Bapolu, 5 counties. $2 billion investment. What does government get back within 65 years? Like we are setting example today with Firestone. At least to some extent, we can point to a lot of the other smaller investment that Firestone did for Liberia. In as much as it's just a minute portion of what they've extracted from Liberia, what they've gotten, but we can point to most of the companies. Go there, go to the place that they're calling concession agreements area. No good roads are there. Hospitals, the people don't even have it. No medical center. When they kind of build one small lake clinic, 2 rooms, 3 rooms, hot, and they put there, they will come have whole ceremony to say the opening hospital. $2 billion. What is $2 billion concession? Liberia should even pass the issue of having concession agreement in $2 billion now.
That's what surprises me. Is that the name of the money?
I'll make my point, please, guys.
Come in, Jamal.
Guys, how many of you have sat over a concession meetings? I mean, consider Liberia as you know what Liberia's time. Let me tell you one thing. Go through it. Give some deep analysis of those documents and see who are those companies out there. If you see those companies, 99.9% companies are Asian companies. Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're willing to put in money. They're not interested in getting involved in government politics. Western government will tell you before we get into your country, you need to straighten this rule, anti-corruption, that one, this one, that one. They're going to get involved into politics. Because of that, they don't want Western companies to get involved into more especially African contracts. That's one. Second, country like Liberia as at the receiving end, they don't have much of a say. Government does not have money to take care of these businesses. Government is preaching an agenda called PPP, private-public partnership. So if I'm bringing my money in, I have most of the say. And we get greedy. I'm with you guys. We got greedy people, most of our people will tell you, we don't care. Break in, start something, and bring something on board. When I get kickback, I don't care about people. I understand what is happening right now. We should take the blame to our people, not the companies that bring in the businesses. We are not negotiating well for our people. So if you see the Asians are coming in, the Asians are coming with a lot of money. Like what the brother said, 65 years. 65 years of $2 billion is nothing. But then who is negotiating? Do we know what is in the contract or in the agreements? And these guys are investing this money into their countries. And the county itself is not benefiting at all. So nobody cares. The people in the house don't care. The legislation don't care. Nobody cares. The citizens are suffering. We know what's happening in the mountain. We haven't asked them, Mita, other companies, NIMA, have been raising issues. So citizens have been silent. If you're a tough talker in the county, you're talking about it, they find a way to silence you. So we as a country be at the receiving end. We don't have much of a say. We open our arms. Look at the present government right now. They don't have money. They don't issue contract. They are issuing a journal called PPP. Bringing your business will help you to settle down with our contract. If I come with $2 billion right now, I want a portion of Maryland. The government said, take it. We don't have money. Bring in money. That's not happening. So the companies are bringing, they're taking Liberia as an opportunity to step in. So we shouldn't be crying foul on the companies that come in. That's what I'm saying. I've been part of most of these concessions, not on the top level, but I've been lucky to be part of those signing agreement. I've been on 20 tables. I know how these deals are cut. So governments, people as Liberia, they don't have much of a say. So at the end of the day, they are forced, their arms are turned around to accept these agreements without giving consideration to their citizens. So this is it. It's just a sad story. But actually, what we're saying here, our citizens should benefit. But we can't benefit. Look what's happening at the moment. The present government, what's going on? Look at what's going on. Yeah. Nobody's going to idea right.
Actually, I don't think we are frowning at the companies. Like you rightly said, it's a negotiation process that I personally have problem with.
Level, yeah. They will take the key back and turn it back on their own citizen. And the guy will come in. And look at the company, the all Asian company. The company called Sandabi is a Malaysian company.
Sandabi.
It's a Malaysian company. Golden Valera is
even Golden Valera is a Malaysian company as well.
Chinese company, all these are Asian companies. Show me one company that Asian, that Western company. You know what they'll tell you? If you want to come to this country, we want this to be done. You need to get all the politicians. Or if you have any political prisoners, free them. The journalists should be free. Corruption, anti-corruption, certain things should be done. And these guys will not live for those conditions. So government said, Chinese Asian are not interested in looking into your government face. They said, let me do my job. I don't care. What you want to do as citizen is up to you. The Russians do the same.
People look for a way for the citizens also to get job.
The actual story we're looking at. This is the actual story. What's happening, gentlemen?
I've always said this, and sometimes I frown at people. Yeah. I frown at people who will say, "I don't need to be, or to be a financial person to be Minister of Finance."
No,
I think how, because look, Chima, I'm not doctor, right? Make me director of JFK. Okay, yes, I will do the administrative part. But there are certain key things that I need to know about medicine. Okay, so let's just take the common example that I always give. You got in my own area the maritime thing here. Then you go bring the hustlers from Denmark, who the only thing they know that they continue thing. They bring $25 million to you for 25 years. Hey man, 1 year, 1 million. What is 1 million? Then you tie your country. Now you send the small mouse in a container. When you go to Liberia, you pay $1 million for it. When you're not supposed to do it, because the people set the price. The negotiation was wrong. Because these are people, the lawmakers that we have should have ideas. That's why Nigeria is supposed to go grab one dry mixer and put it in the house.
They know, but they don't care, Linfo. They know they don't care. They
don't care.
They don't care, Paul.
Who suffer?
If I'm a business person, if I'm a business person, if I give you a money, I want to get my money back.
Yeah.
It's necessary. I don't care what you say.
So Linfo, you know, about 2 days ago, Edwin Snow was crying wolf in a house without sanction. This is a guy that $14 million he negotiated with that B Mountain. And that money cannot be traced. And this is the guy of crying wolf. They don't care. And these are the people.
You started $14 million for that one are too recent. But how about the APN terminal we're talking about? It wasn't any school that were carrying documents around for people to sign. Without even reading that document to know what's in there for Liberians. And in that document somewhere it says that APN terminal has the sole right to increase the price of containers coming in all the time without any regulation.
You see, this is what Russell just said. The guy they will get the money, they will buy the beach land, they build a big house, a fence, they will ride the best cars, people worship them, and they become decision makers in Liberia. They influence a lot of people to vote for them, and then they leave the good guys out. This is how Liberia operates. Go to Grand Bassa County. Senator Lawrence, she come from a rich family, but the life she lived in, more than Michael Jackson left in the States. These are the people that make decisions for us.
You know,
I just gave example of one person.
these people they don't consider the future generation. Let's go to Faso. Faso came 1926, right? Now at that time, my grandfather they were young boys. Can you imagine? And Liberia was just coming up. Before even Tome came, Liberia was just coming up. So those people used to leave the interior to go tap. And when you go and tap for 1 year and you come a year small money, and you can buy zinc, you can change the roof of your house from thatch to zinc. Then you're a big boy. And at that time, how many people in all of the countries, how many people are actually going to school? In fact, I understand how my uncle went to school. Government used to go take people by force to send them to school. All the young boys grab them by force, man, run away, say they don't go. So at that was the time. So push from 1927 all the way to the 1960s. When missionaries started coming, Liberian people started opening. That's when my father went to school. Okay, in the 60s. And I was born. Then, can you imagine? They're coming from the 60s, coming to the 70s. Then we here, this our guy. We started somewhere in the 70s, late 70s, or we started school. So, Paul, who would take opportunity to carry him to fast room to go tap? No. Paul, I was opening on different things. Paul knew about typewriter. Paul knew that you can be something, you can be engineer. So who would take a opportunity to carry him to go tap or Jima to go tap in fast room? So then, whatever that company was sort of be generating or to be helping some of your citizens, as they say, they will provide job for them. That job, who will do it? Ask yourself, Simi Devi, and San Devi or Simi Devi, or whatever. You sign 65 years contract. Now, ask yourself, who will the children them that will be going to work on a palm farm in 67 years that you'll be able to provide job for? No.
No, but
See,
this is
No,
the same conditions. How to go about it? That's the problem. For me, I don't have a problem with the years. The way they say making any impact, like God and Rosh have said, what benefit is this? It can be 200 years, but what do we get out of it? Only a few that were involved in the signing of the documents or the agreement are benefiting and their family, immediate family members, and the those around them. The county does not benefit at all. Gentlemen, we'd like to take a break and link for and is Ronson of our promo, if you mind.
Yeah, before you do your promo, Linford talk about quick one, Linford, before you do the promo. You talk about your dad going to schools in the 60s when the missionary came. Today, remind us, is April 12th. This was the day that we got rid of the one-party system in Liberia. 44 years. All the trouble we're going through now, today, 44 years. So, please do the promo. I just want to remind you guys.
Yeah, I actually forgot that today was the 12th. And that's when things turn around in Liberia. People would not actually believe it. I used to have this girl from Zimbabwe. She was the niece of the Nigisi. No, they get told me something. They get told me something that I didn't know. The girl told me, she said, you're dancing up and down because these are that somebody who has seen this thing in Zimbabwe at that time was Rhodesia. She told me, she said, your people dancing up and down and they're happy. Say your whole country has changed. You now have peace. And I go talking like she wasting water on top back. But here we are today. Go ahead, roll it.
44 years.
Yeah.
No, but you go ahead
Huh?
Go ahead and roll that. I think you have it, right?
No, I didn't see it. Okay, let me check for it. You put it there, right? Where is it? What is the title?
I got it.
Okay, so while Jemima is looking for that stuff,
Okay, I have it now.
okay, roll it.
Hello, European diasporan. Get ready for an exclusive event that is set to ignite change. Join us at the consultative meeting of Liberian entrepreneurs and professionals in Europe. This is organized by the European Federation of Liberian Association, for short, AFLA. From visionary talks to impactful discussion, here's what in store for you. Dive into power of the EU funds with Mistress Sabina Barnek. Explore entrepreneurship and innovation with Honorable Alex Gonti. Policy advocacy, civil engagement, and professional development with Dr. Leona Orsa. Unlock investment opportunities in Liberia with Mr. John N. Brunel. Discover skills transfer and mentorship strategies with Mr. Kuku Wise. Mark your calendar. Don't miss up on this. The date is May 25th in Antwerp, Belgium. This event is invitation only, so secure your spot now. Don't miss your chance. Be a part of history as we empower minds and build future together. See you there. I'm Augustus Gatume.
Thank you very much. I just joined another reminder that will be on May 25th. Be there in Antwerp. We'll be bringing the team that is responsible on this platform these days to tell you more about the program. Paul is back to you guys. Thank you. Paul, you were on the platform before we wrote the promo. What was your point?
The point there, as somebody is upset, he's the boss, he needs to provide some clarity here. So what's the for?
Clarity about?
So he can call in.
Oh,
look there.
Is he want to call in?
Yeah, so
yeah.
Jeffrey on the screen.
Okay, hold on, see.
Jeffrey.
Okay, so but does he want to call?
What the number is saying? You want to provide some clarity?
Okay, yeah. Okay, sure, we can. I'm going to put a number now, Jeffrey. The number is
But if Jeffrey wants to make clarity, because listen, we are developing our platform to be more proficient, more neutral, more analytic. So if we can get in touch with Jeffrey, we stay on the platform for 15-25 minutes. We can bring Jeffrey up to make the clarity, because anybody could, I don't know if y'all know him, but somebody could pick up phone or text right now and say they are Jeffrey.
Yeah, I think we will see who he is. If you can show his face, we'll know Jeffrey. Jeffrey Yates is
okay.
Jeffrey,
if you can just drop your WhatsApp number or whatever, I can say.
And we send him the link, and he come up.
Yeah, send me the link.
Can we call him then?
Yeah, but when you call, okay, like I said, we don't know whether he's Jeffrey. Who is Jeffrey anyway? But okay, Jeffrey.
What we know that one Jeffrey Yates is the head of the Secretary of LEITI. I'll know for that, but I don't know in person. It will be let's see who he is. But okay. I think what we could do, somebody can go in the background and speak to him, then we arrange a call.
Okay. Guy will take care of that. Yeah, guy will take care of that. But I think it's important that we look at some of these concessions very carefully. People.
Jeffrey just display his number, his Liberian number.
Let me see what I can do here.
Okay.
Liberian number, right?
Yeah. 08.
Yeah, 1 second. I don't know if I can get him. 1 second, yeah.
Okay. You see the number?
Yeah, it should be Jeffrey.
Yeah, Marcus.
0231.
No.
1?
Just plus 231.
Yeah.
888.
888, yeah.
Yeah. 060.
Yeah.
888. And so, if possible, you can drop the link to him.
Yeah, it will not go. I'm trying to call him.
If he can call, if he could call in though, because our number is here.
Yeah, I'm trying to call him.
He's not taking.
Mobile accounts to continue using our service. Thank you.
No, I can't get him. The line is busy. This line, I'm trying to call him straight line. I'm trying to call if I can call him through WhatsApp. 1 second. Y'all, you keep continuing. I'll go off and see.
Okay. So yeah. So like we said, we don't know what we don't know the clarifications that you want to make.
But the concessions, because some of those.
I'll have you have.
You got it now?
Jemai, so let's flow.
Go on.
Okay, then Jemai, mute yourself while you're dealing with the Jeffrey team. Okay, can I provide clarity? Okay, so you will, Jeffrey. But what we're saying, these are our views about the issue, and let him come to give us the clarity. Probably we don't know something about what's obtaining on the ground, but we are giving our opinions on the issue. You know, for companies to be signing these kind of long contracts, yeah, it's good. But we already said you can't blame the companies because they want to make money, right? Their business. But it is our people, the lawmakers, the people who look at the final document and then signature it to pass into law. They are the ones that are supposed to scrutinize this document and say, no, listen, yeah, you're signing this document. I personally, let me say this. I have problem with the time attached to these contracts or this document because or to this agreement, because that time who signing this thing now, you will not be living at that time to see whatever difficult the future generation.
Vikings. I have with me the boss from LEITI, Jeffrey Yates. Can I have him on speaker?
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
Please.
Mr. Yates, welcome. Could you please put away the other phone so that we can have repeats in the background? You're live now on the bottom line, Liberia. Mr. Yates, welcome.
Just mute, tell him to mute whatever he's listening to.
Okay now? Yes, it's better now. Okay. Welcome to the bottom line Liberia discussion. Can you just tell us your name and tell us who Mr. Yates is before we dive into the discussion?
Okay, like I said, my name is Jeffrey Yates, and I'm the head of the LEITI Liberia.
It's very bad. We can't understand what he's saying.
Okay, just.
Can you hold on? Do you have your Bluetooth?
Yeah, LEITI. Is that okay now?
Is it better now?
Yeah, okay. Let's try.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it better now?
Yeah, kind of better. Let's go. If it is not better, we want to see that.
Yeah, go ahead. It's better. It's better a bit.
Okay, so first let me start with saying thank you to the team for the discussion. Do I join not too long, but the first thing I wanted to clarify, I appreciate if probably the airline, because when I went through and I saw it's a LEITI concession, I think it's not LEITI, it's not our concession, but rather it is a concession, like road concession or extractive sector concession. It's not our concession. Our work as LEITI is to report this concession.
We're not really getting it. Guy, what are you using? You using computer?
Hold on small, Mr. Yates.
Are you using computer?
Can Jamai?
Okay, well, let me call him.
Can you call him?
I will call him. Mr. Yates,
okay, just hold on. My other colleague will pick you from the other phone, and let's see if it's better. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, let me see his number here. What was that number? Okay, yeah. So guys, you can be talking. You can be talking. Give me your views on this thing. Let me see if I can get Mr. Yet.
Okay, yeah, this was also another point I wanted to bring in before we even saw the text, his comments in the comment section. So before I saw LEITI running almost as an institution, even the public, people also thought LEITI was some NGO. That's how people used to think. You know, they didn't know LEITI well. It was another arm of government. So I think he's right. The point he was making that it's not LEITI Concession, you know, because they are an institution that reports on these things. So all the information we have in here have come from LEITI. They are not come
Yes,
from.
that's their database we're just looking at.
Yes.
Okay, guys. We got Mr. Yates on the line now. Mr. Yates, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, guys. Do you hear him well?
Yeah, loud and clear.
It's better. Now it's better.
Okay, Mr. Yates, everything is all right. You are audible. We can hear you. What did you say you are, in terms of your position?
So my name is Jeffrey.
And you got to talk a little bit loud.
Okay. So I'm saying my name is Jeffrey, and I'm the head of the Liberia Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, but in short, just call it LEITI.
Mm-hmm.
So I am the head of LEITI in Liberia. Just to contribute to the discussion and see how we can bring the information more clearly so that people can understand exactly what the team is trying to portray. I know the issue of extractive sector is a national discussion, especially where the natural resources of the country belongs to everyone, and then we all have the right to participate in the discussion. So the first thing I wanted to state is that I saw on the heading of the show, LEITI Concession. I was just a little confused. I said, what is it that is the name of LEITI Concession? Because it is not our concession. Those are national documents. We operate on a framework called the EITI, the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. Initiative meant to promote transparency and accountability over the governance of the country's natural resources. So currently we have 57 countries implementing the EITI. So when you see LEITI, it's the Liberia Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. So maybe if you go to Sierra Leone, you would see SLEITI, is the Sierra Leone Extractive Industry Transparency. So like that, all countries like Nigeria, so the country name will just follow the EITI, and then it becomes the secretary for the country. So it is not LEITI's concession. When I say it's not LEITI concession, the information on Facebook, they are from our report, they are from our work, but it's not our concession. It's the Liberian people concession as passed by the national legislature. So what we are doing is that honor our EITI standard honor requirement 2.4. It's the whole thing we can talk about, but honor requirement 2.4 is this with something called contract transparency. Contract transparency means as an EITI country, we should be willing to open up the contracts and let the Liberian people know exactly what are these concession agreements being signed by the national legislature and approved by the office of the president. So we have to disclose it to the population. So if you currently check on our website, we have all the concession agreement, what is in the mining, agriculture, forestry, and oil and gas sector. If you check on our website, we disclose them. So the document that is making headway around social media, which we appreciate because it's part of the work we do to stimulate debate. These concession agreements, when they are passed by the national legislature, they are of volume, they are voluminous, and they have legal terminology. And people in the affected areas, they don't have access to these concession agreements. So our work as EITI Liberia is to ensure that we disclose this contract, we open up this contract in the most transparent manner. So we summarize 25 different concession agreements and we took them to the communities, the counties, and we shared it with them. Like, for example, that is just a gist of the contract to say, okay, like, for example, the start date of the contract, the end date of the contract, the investment size, the location of the contract. That is just like the preliminary information. But the real information that I will appreciate that we can even give is to actually understand the terms and conditions of this concession agreement. So, for example, the people in the affected areas, they need to know what this concessionaire should be doing and what they should be doing for the concessionaire. So, for example, you see, you hear the concessionaire saying after 5 years, we'll build school. After 10 years, a particular percentage of Liberians should be at the top level management of the organization or this concessionaire. But the thing is, most of the people in the affected communities and counties, they don't have those information. So our work as LEITI and LEITI is to take the contracts to the affected community and tell them, say, this contract or this concessionaire that is operating in your country, your county, they should be, the length of the investment is 25 years. What they should do for you is like one, build school after a particular number of years, build hospital after a particular. So like that, you open up the contract, you allow the citizen to participate in the contract, allow them to ask the necessary question, and not really demand. Okay, if we say demand for it, demand, because we are the LEITI. Our work is to stimulate debate, allow the citizen to ask the necessary question to their leaders, especially around the extractive sector governance.
Okay, Mr. Ye, you'll continue about, because as questions pop up in my head, I don't want to, forget them. So when do you take this document to the affected area for the citizens to comment or ask questions? Is it after it has been approved by or signed by the legislature?
Yes. We don't. It's not our work to award concession agreement. It's obviously the national legislature. But of course, when these concessionaires are passed by the national legislature and approved by the president, it becomes difficult for people in the affected community to have access to them. So we as LEITI operate under the EITI standard, that's requirement 2.4, that says that we should ensure contract transparency. What the list you saw is just a gist of contract transparency. We just opened up some of the concession agreements, telling you the length of time, the investment side. But we even go beyond what is making rounds on social media, and then details what the company should be doing for the community that they are operating in. We have all that, we have summarized all that, and we have taken to the affected communities and inform them about it. Sometimes you see citizens in the area asking, and it is because of the work we do as LEITI, because the people now they are aware of what the concessionaire should be doing to them. So, like I said, it's just a gist of what is in the public. We could even provide additional information, more detailed information on, for example, Ashita Metal, what Ashita Metal should be doing for Bong Lima and Paso, in terms of social contribution, in terms of what roads, in terms of hospital, in terms of school. They are all outlined in our simplified contract metrics.
Okay, so
Mr. Yates, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, Guy, Guy, I want to follow all my questions. So, in other words, you're only taking the finished product to the people in the affected area. What if they ask questions or have some concerns that should be addressed? So, their concerns will be disregarded because the documents are already approved by the legislature. You are not going to interpret it to them. So their input is not anything of any importance, right? Is that what it is?
No, you see, in the process of awarding concession, there is a particular critical part of it that we need to stress: the issue of this prior consent. Before issuing a concession agreement, the people in the affected areas should be, there is a need to reach out to them, tell them about the company that is going there, what they want to do, have that prior consent with the company, with the affected communities before, giving the concessionaire agreement or the concessionaire to the people. But let me say something. In as much as we don't participate in the formulation of the concession agreement, if you hear today, it's a work that we did since 2013, 2014, where you have these 66 concession agreements that were reviewed and there are only 64 met the legal requirements. It is a work that came from the LEITI. So we call it post-award process audit. As much as we don't participate in the work of the national legislature, but once they produce or they award these concession agreements, our standard also requires that we can examine and report on the processes leading to the award of this concession agreement as to whether they met all the legal requirements. As we speak today, it's a national, it's a global discussion on Eddie Johnson said 66 concession were awarded, but only 64, and no two met the legal requirements. That work is the work of the LEITI, and we call that the post-award process audit. We don't have a decision to give contracts to concessionaires. It's the absolute right of the national legislature and with the approval of the president. But we look after the process of the awarding to make sure that each contract that was awarded met all the legal requirements in the Liberian law. So if we do that and we can say, okay, yes, this contract was awarded as all the Liberian laws, or this contract was awarded not in reference to the laws, and we call that the post-award process audit. And we have done that. I guess you guys have heard about the 68 concession agreement on Madam President, and then 66 they not meet the legal requirements. It is a work that we do.
Okay, guy, my colleague.
Okay, so looking at it, Mr. Yates, that you've done all of these good things to make sure that transparent. Can you hear me?
Hold on. Yeah. You're not hearing him well?
It's much better.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's much better. Let's go ahead.
Okay, looking at it, that you've done all of these good things, right? Making sure that transparency is at its best and to standard, that the Liberian people can get to be aware of how concessions are done and what is enshrined in the laws, concessionaires agreements and things like that. In fact, recent time in Grand Cape Mount County, we have the issue with the people from King George. Who we say that to some extent you have not actually been there for the people as LEITI, where I listened to some of the complaints. There were several counts that they've given to the company that was there or that is there. And the guys complained, no school, no clinic, and that was some of the issue that brought up the riot. And at the end of the day, it had to be brutal. So how the LEITI do their own homework and that the people are complaining today instead of LEITI producing a transparent report?
Thank you. Are you getting me?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, clear.
The answer to the question is the other way around. I think in the situation that happened in King George, the LEITI should be given some pat on the back, because, like I said to you, when you see, we are not saying that we support the violence or or we are happy with the approach or that the citizen the conflict in general. We don't support that. What we encouraged at the LEITI is we encourage public debate, we encourage dialogue, we encourage reform. But when you see citizens requesting a company to say, okay, you're supposed to build a school, like I said to you, it is our work. We took similar contract summarization to Bomi, Cape Mount, and Papul, and we told the people, we left copy of these summarized contracts with them. So now they know exactly what the mountain should be doing for them at the end of a particular period, and So when you see them asking the question, saying, "Oh, why you not build our school?" I mean, bro, give us the pap on the back, because our simplified contract method dissemination, we went there and we brought the citizens together and we told them exactly what that concession here should be doing for them. So it is the work that we did, and it is something that the citizens are not using to not really. I don't like to use the word demand, but they are requesting that the company meet up with their social obligation and other terms and conditions of the contract as was passed by the national legislature. So to answer your question, when you see citizens asking this question, just know that they have the information. In fact, in some communities like in Nima, in part of the southeast, they can say the LEITI is power, because it's like we give them exactly these concessionaires in the simplified version. They know what these concessionaires should be doing. So now, at least when they go to county setting, they can be able to ask their county leaders, their national leaders, say, okay, but according to LEITI, according to LEITI, their simplified contract metrics says that this company operating in our area should be able to do this for us after a particular number of years, but we're not seeing it. Can we have answers to those concerns? Then those national leaders can reach out to the companies and even the national legislature and say, but these guys are not meeting all the terms and conditions of their concession. Yeah. So, like I said, that is the work of LEITI, and it is on contract transparency. We try to open up the contract for what the concessionaire should be doing with them, so that our way is to ensure that people benefit. So, in as much as we look at the revenue aspect of the extractive sector, where companies have to pay taxes, but citizens also benefit when these terms and conditions are met by concessionaires. They say, okay, after 5 years, you will build school. After 10 years, if you do those things, but the citizens are benefiting directly. So it's not only the revenue payments that will allow the citizens to benefit the taxes, but unless these concessionaires meet up with the terms and conditions, so that the citizen can be able to benefit. So that is the work of the LEITI, and that is how we have managed to open the minds of the citizens for the message of contract transparency across Liberia.
Okay, let me make a statement before I go to my next question, Mr. Yates. So I found out that it's not just a saying, because I've worked in a lot of the counties, and I'm sure that some of these counties are LEITI-owned concessions areas. And example, I will come back to Grand Cape Mount County. If LEITI is doing that sufficient work, I think the people will be more informed, because in Grand Cape Mount County, where I work on the PR project that was managed by USAID and Project Concern International, and the PR project was solely on cash for work. Not cash for work. We have the medical side, and we have the PR project, which was the cash for work. So I found out that communities were building roads by themselves that was in the project. Communities were also building roads, farm to market roads, just with hand, manually. And if that was happening, that was also in LEITI concession areas, where you had Sam Darby is also there. And I remember that our communities around there, we were giving them money for them. Somebody got some small farm up the mountain, or 10, 15 miles away, kilometers away or so. They had to brush every time, every season of the farming era. They had to brush to create.
Make your question simple, make your statement short, and the question go.
The thing is, Mr. Yates, let's not put it into a question. Let me just urge you and LEITI, the good work that you do. I think you can create more awareness. It's just the thing I want to say. Create more awareness. Instead of a question, let's create more awareness. Because if more awareness is done, we wouldn't have NGOs coming to do some of the work for our communities.
I agree with that. I agree with you. I mean, some of the challenges we face. The thing is, we have approximately 5 million, or maybe a little bit over 5 million in Liberia, 5 million people in Liberia. So, I mean, if we go to give this give the information around these concession agreements. Trust me, we don't in like big country like Nimba, for example. If we go to Nimba because of budgetary constraint, maybe you have to bring like maybe before when we want to wrap up in the entire Nimba, at the end of the day, maybe we talk to the 3,000-4,000 person in Nimba, which is just a minute portion of the population that we are creating a wetness on. And it is not because we want to do it, but the budget we have, is the one that can call for that. So I agree with you. I mean, we are not talking to the national legislature, we are not talking to the Ministry of Finance, and we are telling them that there is a need to increase the support of LEITI so that we can continue to provide more to the citizens around this concession agreement. So yes, I agree to the points you raised. Yeah.
Paul, I guess we got a question for Mr. Yates.
Mr. Yates, thanks for calling on the show to make some clarity. Is it possible that we have you on this program so we can get more details of you regarding some of the concessions that have been signed, the 66 concessions, as a lot of people have said, to get clarity, because our people need to be informed more?
I mean, I wouldn't have problem with that because it's part of our work. We just need to arrange it better because I have many of them lined up for next week. So I mean, yes, we can find the time. The show is normally in the evening time, right?
Yeah.
In the night time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we can. You have my number now. We can plan that. I will appreciate. I mean, I have no problem here on the show so that we can talk about the issue of the natural resources. Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Okay, good. We have your number, we have your contact. We'll keep in contact. But just before we leave you, I got one question that is burning my mind. You take this document after it has been signed, you take it to the affected people where the company also will operate, and then you explain to them their rights and what the company need to do for them. Okay, but what if problem arises, like what happened in Kinjo recently? What is your role? What do you do? Between mediating, because it's like you are a mediator. Let's say, let me create a context here. When we was small long time ago in interior, we can see one guy called Messenger. He always bring the letter or something from the superintendent. Then he bring it in the village. So that our man, the village people know the superintendent. So when anything happen, when anything happen, they say, but who brought a letter? They said, I messenger. So that he responsibility to explain. Now, when the people want to send message back to the superintendent, that I see men now, they will pass through, So you being playmaking a role here, when something happens, like what happened in Kinjo, what is your role? What do you do? How do you mediate between they and the government?
So the thing is, we have a focal person. When I say focal, just an individual, we try to have focal person in the 15 countries. So when these things happen, a focal person can move in. But again, don't forget now, the government also took especially. I might appreciate his approach on the situation in Kinjo when the situation was escalating. He sent high-level government representatives there. I mean, I saw the Minister of Internal Affairs, the Minister of Justice, the Inspector General. It was a high-level government delegation to Kinjo. So that alone, shows that the government is the government that wants to make sure that the citizens' voices are heard. So our role is that our focal person there is also talking. I mean, he may not be in the forefront like the way the delegation from the government, you will see them on cameras, but we have our focal person there, and they are also talking and making sure that we de-escalate the situation and we continue along. What interesting is just, I think it was on yesterday. Was on Thursday? Yes, yesterday. Yes, yesterday. It was yesterday. No, it was on Wednesday. the Kofi Annan Institute of Peace at the university is a graduate program. They invited me to talk about LEITI. So interestingly, they are specialize in the issue of conflict resolution. So when I presented for 3 hours, telling them about the work we do, and they all got excited, and they were so moved by our work. So they have agreed to partners, for the LEITI and the Kofi Annan School to have that partnership where when we are going out, while we are talking, our LEITI and other things, then the Kofi Annan people can also approach the discussion from the peace aspect to say, okay, see all the people in LEITI now talk to you're knowing now, and for the sake of peace, there should be no need for you to churn rat. There should be no need to do this. The thing you need to do is ask your lawmaker, ask your country. So they will be like, doing our work or helping us in the awareness creation, but from the side of peace management, conflict management, and ensuring that there is dialogue where they can find resolution. So I agree that it will be part of our dissemination, our awareness exercises, so that at least when we give in it, because we know when you give some communities the information, you can see the tension. They can say, oh, but we don't know about this. So you can see that tension, tension coming or tension rising. But we can always tell them that the reason why we come here is not to create conflict, it's not to create chaos, but it's to give you the information so that you can debate the issue, and so that you can ask your national leaders, your country leaders, and so that we can get redress and reforms. So yes, we do it, but we may not be at the forefront, like probably the way you see high-level government people going and then on cameras and then making sure they stop to solve the problem, but also solve the problem. Our way is also talk to the communities and see how we can de-escalate conflict and show dialogue and promote peace.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yates. It was good that you took interest in the discussions to come. But like my colleague said, we'll plan time. We have your contact. We'll plan time to have you on the show, and then we can go into detail where we'll start early. Now it's after 12 o'clock in my end, and it's going to 11 o'clock from my colleagues' end. So we got to take some rest, and you too, you got to take some rest. So it was good. And guys, I think it was good that we had Mr. Yates to make some of the clarification that he wanted to make. But this is not, for me, this is not sufficient because we need to go deeper in this. And so we're going to actually arrange a time for you. And we'll have you here back again to tell us more. Thanks a lot, and we hope to see you.
Thank you, and it was good talking to the team, and I look forward to a continuous engagement with the team. Wish you guys all the best and good night from my end.
Thank you.
Good night, Mr. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so guys, that's it. I don't think we need any more thing to talk about here. We've gone 3 hours today. I think this is historic. April 12, and every time we can make history on April 12.
Yes, it's April 12th, 44 years since trouble was killed, and the trouble started in Liberia, and the trouble we stay in it today, and people signing concession thing for $2 billion for 65 years, and
65
in less than a year they have made over $2 billion out of our people. Jesus Christ. We'll have that discussion.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good. I was excited when Yates pop up in the comment section and he asked to make this clarity. These are things that government officials should be doing as well.
But they will never, because they are afraid of the
be more accountable. Be more accountable to the people. Just that Mr. Yates is gone, we're hosting another time. But I am more concerned of my own area that I first did 2 years of studies in. I see in LEITI, I've been reading from their website. I see that I wanted to ask him a funny question, whether he was sent here by government to come shut our mouth, because we're more critical when we started with the issue. So Mr. Yates came up, and then the whole place had become calm. So I wanted to joke him and ask if he was sent to shut us down. But I'm more concerned about the petroleum area, because it's in LEITI function as well to report on those areas. Because I see in 2021, 2022 LEITI report, they report anything about it.
Yeah, God, keep that in store for keep that in store for it when it comes on.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Like this promo run for the last time, then Paul, you can take us home, please.
Hello, European diasporan. Get ready for an exclusive event that is set to ignite change. Join us at the consultative meeting of Liberian entrepreneurs and professionals in Europe. This is organized by the European Federation of Liberian Association, for short, AFLA. From visionary talks to impactful discussion, here's what in store for you. Dive into power of the EU funds with Mistress Sabina Barnek. Explore entrepreneurship and innovation with Honorable Alex Gonti. Policy advocacy, civil engagement, and professional development with Dr. Leona Olsa. Unlock investment opportunities in Liberia with Mr. John N. Brunel. Discover skills transfer and mentorship strategies with Mr. Kuku Wise. Mark your calendar. Don't miss up on this. The date is May 25th in Antwerp, Belgium. This event is invitation only, so secure your spot now. Don't miss your chance. Be a part of history as we empower minds and build future together. See you there. I'm Augustus Gatume.
Okay. We hope to be there. By way of information, I already bought my ticket. I booked my Airbnb, but I didn't know because my flight is going to Brussels. So I don't know how long is Brussels from Antwerp.
No, we're not going to allow you what you did to us in France in 2020. What was year was that? We all slept on one bed.
It's less than 30 minutes.
Oh, you mean in France?
I know, we discussed that another time. Guys, it was a good show. Paul, take us home, guys. It's 3 hours.
It was a good show. I think
Paul, take us home, please.
Well, guys, I would say thanks for every one of you guys being on the show tonight. And to our followers, it was great being here, having serious discussion. And also to Mr. Russell, who is contending for a good seat in Minnesota. Thanks for him being on the program. And we encourage people that have families and friends in Minnesota, call your people, support our own brother over there. Equally so, there will be election in the UK. The name Miata family will be running to be an MP. There's another Liberian, Burma family daughter, should be running to be an MP in the UK. So we'll have Liberians all over the place. Let's support each other. So guys, and we know we'll be in Antwerp in May. And I'm looking forward to that trip as well. Liberians in Antwerp, get ready. The Lord Chidope will be in town. So guys, I'll be looking forward to seeing my brother Linford as well. I think Jamal, I will be seeing you sometime soon.
Oh, Jamal will be there.
So on the note, I would say, guys, it was a great show, and we're having to be here again on Tuesday. Or we'll have a special show during the weekend. I know Linford is off work now, so don't be surprised. We may bounce on you tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do something anytime tomorrow or anytime. But I mean, let our audience just remain as they are. Keep watching out for all. Come on, you'll be notified. And I want to say thanks to all of you guys. Chiba, welcome back. You look fresh after a little more one. Will be Ramadan all the time. You be fasting because when you're fasting, then you get fatter.
So on that note.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook,